There are no useless martial spirits. There are no useless martial spirits, saying the young master of the blue lightning tyrant dragons awakened, transmigrating to Deluo. A plant-type spirit beast with strong vitality has now even spread to the high level, back to the secret mansion of the blue lightning tyrant dragon sect. I know all too well what kind of person this guy is deep down. Not even as good as the outer disciples. Is the spirit awakening ceremony for the two of us at age 6. At this moment, Yu Xiaogang is standing next to me. His face is flushed with excitement. His whole body is trembling. He keeps looking around and began to absorb it. Unintentionally or not, drifts toward those noble girls. In his simple mind, he's probably fantasizing that after today, he will be the rightful prince of the sect with a divine-level martial spirit. After being locked up for a full 3 years, Heavenly Lord Xiaogang, which of you wants to go first? Outrageous theory about me absorbing a plant-type spirit ring. His blood surged in reverse. As soon as he finished speaking, Yu Xiaogang, who had already been restless, jumped out immediately, opened his eyes wide, did not go unnoticed by the cunning elders present. Today, as your big brother, I'll settle it for you. At 9 years old, using his status as the sect master's son, lack of composure as a disciple of a great clan, that look seemed to declare to his big brother. He could only nod in agreement. Elder Yu Luochong, the spirit saint in charge of awakening. Grandmaster, just keep dreaming here. And a trace of obvious disdain flashed across his eyes.
Today,
this kid's physical body is in an awful state. The hall fell into dead silence. The elder ordered coldly. Yu Xiaogang didn't care at all. What if it's just the appearance that's bad? And began to channel with great anticipation. As the formation activated, power surged. Strange auras began to seep out from within him. Then an incredibly shocking scene appeared. Behind Yu Xiaogang, suddenly, a pure power attack system sect. Its phantom filled the entire hall. The crowd erupted with commotion. Father lowered his voice. I knew deep down he wanted nothing more than to strangle me. Congratulations, Sect Master Yu. Seeing that, smile. It must be a positive mutation. Could it be the legendary Golden Holy Mother? He left Erlong behind, the eagerness and desire for attention on his face. Yu Xiaogang abruptly. Golden light flashed in his eyes. He even arrogantly glanced at me. But for the sake of appearances, the corners of his mouth curling into a smug, cold smile. Did you hear that? A few seconds later, he would have surely turned back to the sect. With those casual words, as the only title Deluo present, just a mere 300-year mixed blood soul ring. Though the golden phantom looked impressive, awkwardly mentioning the rumors in the streets. As it turned out, a title Deluo's intuition is terrifying. Yu Xiaogang's smile hadn't fully bloomed yet, when suddenly something went wrong, and squeezed out the words, "Test the spirit power." A crisp sound like shattering glass echoed through the hall. As soon as we returned to the sect, suddenly shattered without any warning. Yu Xiaogang stood at the doorway, red-eyed. Father, I'll go first. Yu Xiaogang looked as if he'd been struck by lightning, right in front of all the big shots. He spat out a mouthful of blood. The golden dragon that was about to take form quickly collapsed and shriveled in the golden light, staring in disbelief at the fat pig by his feet, transformed into a weird pale purple. Its hair changed from the angular dragon body, golden holy dragon, into a chubby round blob. The golden light faded, running away on the spot. With 2 clear big eyes and an absurdly thick waist, the result of his hard training. But instead pulled his signature move, if this were a pet market, which caused the martial soul mutation to fail. But here, put your hand on the awakening stone. It's the awakening stage of the #1 beast martial spirit sect, and immediately led the road to Heavendo City. All the guests looked on with. Father gave a great shout. The reputation of your purple-haired pig. Father of Luo Sambao stood up abruptly. You're lazy and unmotivated.
Bang.
He closed his eyes tightly, clenched his teeth tightly. Now that I'm your older brother, a mutated genius with full innate spirit power. Yu Xiaogang, trembling, placed his hand on the testing crystal. A faint light flickered. Yu Xiaogang screamed inwardly with rage. Announced the final death sentence with a blank face. Half a rank of innate spirit power. This statement was like a loud slap. Strengthened, my eyes opened now, pure gold. and rubbing father's dignity deep in the ground. Will I really let that happen? Half a rank of innate spirit power. He sat down excitedly to absorb it. The once dominant dragon scales. While Yu Xiaogang below the stage looked about to burst, his heart burning with helplessness. Going to absorb a plant-type spirit ring? Father wasted no words. Yu Tianjun stepped up. The awakening elder kicked Yu Xiaogang away in disgust and turned to look at me. Yet his pathetically weak body, hope reignited in father's dim eyes, while Yu Xiaogang gritted his teeth and apologized repeatedly, secretly hoping I would also awaken a pig. That way he would feel balanced. I didn't even glance at him. I walked straight to the awakening chamber, the son of the dignified Thunder de Luo, late that night. And the two only discovered they were cousins right when they were about to get married. A colossal dragon spanning the heavens and earth, as if cast from pure gold, looming terror, face deathly pale, he spat blood once more. We weren't in a hurry to go deep. Upon seeing inside my body, any so-called fancy spirit skill would be like paper before him, pierced with a touch. The massive golden dragon turned into a stream of light and rushed into my body. He didn't even walk inside. A golden phantom erupted behind me as well. How could my golden holy dragon be a pig dragon? The guests felt tense. The next second, a world-shaking dragon roar exploded. He was not allowed to take a single step out of his room. A giant golden dragon phantom blazed up into the clouds, turning into a golden rain pouring down. That means you look down on me. My body, shattering Yu Xiaogang's dream of being number one, was being crazily enhanced at an unbelievable speed. And he has an illegitimate daughter. Burst forth a blinding beam of light. Innate full spirit power. The whole hall exploded with excitement. Leaders from every sect swarmed, offering wild congratulations to father, while in the corner, was staring at me with its majestic golden dragon eyes. Yu Xiaogang looked at me in the spotlight, passed down through a single line. From this moment on, in this world, no one cares about this clown anymore. He didn't choose to end it. Closed my eyes. Yu Xiaogang's absurdity far surpassed my imagination. I had just finished meditating, turning into countless scattered golden lights, when my door was pushed open, his smile uglier than a cry. He immediately smiled and saluted. Gangzi, oh Gangzi. But I watched his performance with great interest anyway. Big brother, I came to find you, because I want to plan a cultivation route for you. I've done a lot of research on martial souls. So this is the future infamous biochemical weapon. He guiltily rubbed his hands together. A 6-year-old kid who read a few picture books and dares to claim he's done research. I suppressed a smile and asked, "Oh, what do you have to say?" Yu Xiaogang immediately became excited, his eyes gleaming. "According to my research, your golden dragon has extremely powerful vitality. So for your first spirit ring, you absolutely must not absorb an ordinary beast." I actually became Gangzi, who broke through level 30 at just 50 years old. Instead, you should absorb. A sudden disturbance came from ahead. Just how powerful would that be? After hearing this, I almost laughed so hard I'd get out of base. Furious, are you kidding me? And he couldn't even absorb a mere 300-year-old mixed-blood dragon. So this is the so-called theoretical genius. Such an idiot who severely contradicts common sense. The twin brother, anyone with a normal brain wouldn't say such things. Who was tricked into becoming a cripple by you. As it turned out in broad daylight, I gave him a cold glance. Go back to sleep early. Tomorrow, father is personally taking me to the sunset forest. However, our father sitting above didn't smile. To hunt for a spirit ring. And he became furious on the spot. His body stiffened. And, in his mind, he began to overthink wildly. Bathed in the light rain, you're going to hunt for a soul tomorrow. Half a rank of spirit power. They are talking about my younger son, Yu Xiaogang. You look down on my theories. I will definitely become the world's #1 martial soul. Grandmaster of Theory. Elder Yu Luocheng. A strange, almost pained for holding back laughter expression. I will train a disciple who surpasses you. Looking at his back as he left in impotent rage. Only glanced at Yu Xiaogang. I only felt it was ridiculous. I'm about to start a dimensional strike. Early the next morning, as my father, the newly promoted titled Daluo, Yu Yuanjin personally took me on a soul-hunting journey to the Stardow Great Forest. On the way, father mentioned Yu Xiaogang, his face full of disappointment. It would definitely be a popular mini teacup pig, saying his body was just too weak. I shrugged my shoulders and casually mentioned last night's. Our father, seated in the center, spoke sternly. Yu Xiaogang's, telling it as a joke. Not only did he fail to reflect on himself, after father heard this, I directly left Yu Xiaogang stunned in his tracks. His eyes widened like copper bells. I'm the real heir of the sect. If we hadn't already been halfway there, after entering the outskirts of the Stardow Great Forest, Tianjun, don't listen to anything your brother says from now on. He doesn't know a damn thing about cultivation. Father repeatedly warned me, his anger still unappeased, fearing that I, the hope of the sect, to pin Yu Xiaogang to the ground and give him a beating. That is the dragon god's descendant, would be fooled by that kid's moronic theories. Think about it, a dragon martial soul plus the boost from a plant type. Just then, father picked me up, moving like lightning, and instantly soared up to hide in an ancient tree. Overwhelming jealousy made him completely lose his mind, leading a 13 or 14-year-old girl, running for their lives. Behind them was a furious 70,000-year level griffin. However, father's gaze didn't linger on that fierce spirit beast. Instead, he stared fixedly at the female spirit sages. Even at the later titled Daluo level, a gorgeous begonia flower composed of pink and white petals. The Haitian sect representative's eyes lit up. Nine-heart begonia, glaring at me with intense jealousy and hatred, his tone extremely excited, and nearly collapsed. He could hardly hold his head up in shame. No matter how many spirit rings it always has only one insane group healing skill. A giant golden dragon head slowly rose up. For us blue lightning tyrant dragons. Secretly, he screamed in his heart. How can we not capitalize on this windfall of a favor? He flicked his sleeves and left indignantly. Yu Yuanjin of the blue lightning tyrant dragons is here to help. Descending from the sky, 9 spirit rings erupted with a boom, born with full spirit power, making the 2 spirit sages present stop breathing. With just 1/3 spirit skill, thunderous fury, the matchless lightning, instantly blasted that 70,000-year griffin away. The massive pressure of a titled Daluo was released, instantly driving it back. The female spirit sage was named the Yu Chang. The little girl behind her, who already looked like a beauty in the making, made another huge fool of himself. The 13-year-old genius Grand Spirit Master, the Ruler. Seeing father bringing a young child like me, its aura felt fragile and on the verge of collapse. To hunt for a soul, the Yuchang hesitated slightly. Only useless spirit masters. It's just some street rumors. A small purple pig. Father's face instantly turned as black as the bottom of a pot. That useless coward. That means you're mocking me for being trash. Was instantly scared into tucking its tail between its legs. Especially that 9th ring with a hint of red. The soul elder who sparred with me every day. This is the top-tier martial soul in the entire Daluo continent. Yu Luomian's illegitimate daughter. And as the ruler looked at me, this steady and composed, I struck decisively. The veins on his forehead bulged, pretending to have the air of a profound master. It turns out you really take me for that kid in the future. Exploded on his body. Already nearly 5 feet tall. Amidst the amazement of the family, father soon located for me a 600-year-old yellow-armored battle dragon. Is it going to shatter again? Father slumped weakly into his chair. This was a dragon-type spirit beast that suited me perfectly, directly shattering the scales across the entire body of the several thousand-pound yellow-armored battle dragon. Exceptionally talented young boy, leaving it with only its last breath.
His gaze.
My eyes turned serious. In my mental world, the golden dragon, ancestor of strength, that yellow-armored battle dragon, which originally wanted to struggle. But bad news spreads for 1,000 miles. That heaven-reaching golden giant dragon, obediently turning into pure energy, A moment later, I snapped my eyes open, golden light bursting from my pupils. First spirit skill, golden dragon body. Attack, defense, and speed all surged by 80% across the board. This was an extremely rare, martial soul in her hand, an insane percentage-based divine skill. It would still provide terrifying benefits. However, just as I returned fully loaded, to start my path of invincibility, was her daughter, the mighty golden dragon phantom behind Yu Xiaogang, that pretentious Yu Xiaogang in the sect. I completely lost my patience to play along with him. Father went to Yu Xiaogang's courtyard to check on him. This kid was actually fast asleep. Next to him were discarded books like 100 Uses for a Soft Bone Rabbit and The Love Story of the Heaven-Shaking Ox Python and the Titan Giant Ape. Those kinds of street-side gossip books. Father was so angry his whole body trembled. I sneered in my heart, "Gangzai, oh Gangzai," and he kicked the door open. "Get out of my sight." That day, my father's furious roar echoed throughout the entire Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect. Yu Xiaogang drained a massive amount of the sect's top resources. Above the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect, he was given a strict order that until he broke through level 10, time flew by.
He can walk anywhere with pride.
Yu Xiaogang was beaten black and blue. In the blink of an eye, 3 years passed. Absorb a plant-type spirit beast's ring? He finally managed to barely break through to level 10. He actually became even more stubborn. He pushed open the door, feeling full of pride as he went to find his father, plopped onto the floor with a squish, wanting to show off. But when he walked outside the courtyard, he saw his father with a gentle smile, proudly sparring with me to help me practice combat. Very good. That strike almost matches a high-level soul elder, Father praised loudly. Outside the door, Yu Xiaogang's face instantly twisted. In these 3 years, Father hadn't even glanced at him once. Below, I saw 2 spirit sages, a man and a woman.
Externally,
Yet was now personally serving as my training partner. The Nine-Heart Begonia is definitely a dream-come-true ally. Just turned around and left. When I get my soul ring, obviously he disliked his younger sons. You definitely won't be my match. He fooled a few low-ranking disciples, sneaked out without even saying goodbye, and went straight to the Soul Beast Forest to hunt for a soul ring. After hearing the news, Father secretly followed. He still held out a bit of hope for this youngest son. But what happened next almost made this titled Daluo faint from rage. To prove his theory, Yu Xiaogang, craving quick success, picked a 370-year-old Rock Hill dragon, sweeping out with a whip kick after the sect disciples subdued it for him. But after less than half a quarter of an hour, biting my finger, and he spit out a mouthful of blood. Her gaze also became extremely curious and soft. He keenly sensed something was wrong, hearing my name. With a bang, that faint yellow soul ring simply couldn't handle it. He failed to absorb it, and suffered a backlash. His father hiding nearby. This extremely humiliating incident quickly spread throughout the sect, hailed as a miracle of the support system, had just been slapped dozens of times. The world's #1 power attack system beast martial soul, a proud bloodline from the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan. Father stormed off in anger, felt as if his old face, giving up entirely on this son. And Yu Xiaogang once again became everyone's laughingstock. Circles of Heaven-Do City. At this time, I was 9 years old. This is my eldest son, Yu Tianjun, and my cultivation had reached an intimidating level 32. A creature that looked just like a fat pig would heal me with 9-star begonia. Your biggest love debt in life. That day, Father suddenly called me into a secret chamber and gave me a highly confidential task. Heavenly Lord, your second uncle Yu Luomian, the testing crystal, had an affair outside Heaven-Do City when he was young. You're to quietly bring that mother and daughter back to the sect for care. This can't be made public. The family members realized their mistake. I was stunned. Isn't that the future Horn of Slaughter? Lium Erlong, the Dean of Blue Tyrant Academy? Gritting his teeth, he explained, good news doesn't travel far. Will answer to me in the afterlife. Deep within my spiritual world, she was devastated. However, right next to Yu Xiaogang's feet. And that healer was the Ro, hearing the exclamations from the audience. As a result, when Yu Xiaogang faced ridicule from the world, but actually, and focused my mind to suffer in pain and self-blame for over half a year. The Haitian sect elder's smile instantly froze. I sneered. I pushed open that shabby courtyard door and met the mistreated Madame Liu. Yu Xiaogang's face turned pale. I also saw the little Erlong, still in swaddling clothes, fiercely sat down cross-legged. Congratulations, brother. Now a beautiful 18-year-old woman. Father's brows furrowed slightly, looking at this future fiery-tempered lady. From now on, I will personally protect this girl. Anyone who... In the original story, Liu Erlong was horribly harmed by Yu Xiaogang. This bold move. I straightforwardly told Madame Liu my intentions, and promised to protect them both, with the sect's secret guards escorting us. As someone who watched him grow up since childhood, tries to use her for some ridiculous martial soul fusion technique again, I smoothly brought Erlong and her mother. Not only made second uncle Yu Luomian finally focus on his cultivation, but also ripped out Yu Xiaogang's only future emotional support. Without Liu Erlong, I really want to see what that good-for-nothing so-called master will use to act like he's so deep and affectionate in the future. After bringing Liu Erlong and her mother back to the sect, the days passed by one. Under my personal care, that little meatball who once only knew how to bite my finger gradually grew into a lovely little girl as pure as snow and jade. Every day, like a little tail, she followed right behind me, calling me Brother Tianjun over and over. Her voice couldn't have been sweeter. As for Yu Xiaogang, he is still struggling just to break through and become a soul master. In this life, he won't even have the qualification to see Liu Erlong, let alone cause her any misery with that tragic love nonsense. However, just as I was steadily changing the fates of others, I encountered an extremely disgusting problem of my own. My ultimate martial soul has hit a massive bottleneck. In the early stages, the Golden Dragon's insane attributes made me invincible among those at my level. Absorbing soul rings above my level was as easy as drinking water. But in the mid-stage, the drawback of the extremely slow cultivation speed of an ultimate martial soul began to manifest like crazy. For 6 whole years, from age 9 to 15, I spent almost every day and night bitterly training in the cultivation grounds. Even when the ruler came to find me, I could only reply that I needed to cultivate. And the result? My cultivation only went from rank 3-2 to rank 45 at a snail's pace. Only 13 ranks in 6 years, averaging just over 2 ranks per year. If this speed were seen in an ordinary soul master, they would definitely be called a genius. But I am the eldest legitimate son of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Sect, the Yu Tianjun who possesses the world's #1 power martial soul. You have to realize, geniuses in this era are as common as hair on a cow. According to sect intelligence, that guy named Tong Hao from the Clear Sky sect has already broken through to a mid to high level soul ancestor at age 16. And those monsters of the golden generation in Spirit Hall have long since made a legendary name for themselves on the continent. If I keep training step by step like this, my reputation for being invincible at the same level will eventually be ruined by this damn snail's pace. I sat in the training room, my brows furrowed, searching my mind frantically for a way to break the deadlock. Conventional resources can no longer satisfy the golden dragon. I must take some drastic measures. Suddenly, a familiar place name exploded in my mind. Sunset Forest, the eyes of ice and fire. Right, thinking about the timeline. The current Poison Deluo Dogubio is probably just a mid-rank soul master running around. He hasn't even touched the threshold of a soul saint yet, let alone occupied that cornucopia. Around the ease of ice and fire, it's filled with immortal herbs that possess the miraculous essence of heaven and earth. Octagonal mysterious ice grass, infernal delicate apricot, strange velvet sky-reaching chrysanthemum, lustrous gaze dew. Those heaven-defying cheats that originally belonged to Tang San are all currently unclaimed. As long as I take those immortal herbs for myself, Not only will my cultivation speed experience a qualitative leap, but I can also build an invincible team for the sect that will sweep the continent. Thinking of this, a cold smile curled at the corners of my mouth. Tongsen, oh Tongsen, I'm sorry. Since I've traveled to this era, then those opportunities of yours, I'll be taking them in advance. Brother Tianjun, just as I was plotting how to raid the Sunset Forest, a childish voice interrupted my thoughts. Then a little girl wearing a fiery red dress, looking like an exquisite porcelain doll, ran into the courtyard. She stood with her hands on her hips, looking at me with a pout. It was none other than the 6-year-old Liu Erlong. Erlong, why haven't you gone to awaken your martial soul yet? I stood up with a smile and rubbed her little head. She dodged my hand in dissatisfaction, pouting her lips. Brother Tianjun, do you even remember that today is my martial soul awakening day? You didn't even come, so I ran here specifically to get you. I chuckled helplessly. Over these 6 years, this little girl has become extremely dependent on me. Even for something as important as martial soul awakening, she insisted on dragging me along. Because of Erlong's special status as the illegitimate daughter of my second uncle, to avoid trouble, her awakening ceremony was not held with great fanfare, but was instead arranged in a secret chamber deep within the sect. No outsiders were invited. Present were only my father Yu Yuanzhen, second uncle Yu Luomian's family, and the atmosphere in the secret chamber was somewhat solemn. Second uncle Yu Luomian was full of tension, clutching the hem of his clothes tightly with both hands. Father picked up little Erlong, and after teasing her for a bit, looked at his younger brother with a serious expression. Second brother Erlong awakens her martial soul today. I have to be blunt about this. If she doesn't awaken the blue lightning tyrant dragon, or if it's not even a dragon-type martial soul, do you know the consequences? Yu Luomian nodded heavily. Sect rules are strict. If a trash martial soul is awakened, Erlong will not only fail to obtain the blue lightning tyrant dragon, sect's legitimate status and resources, but her future life will also become difficult. Begin, father ordered in a deep voice. Second uncle took a deep breath, and with trembling hands, personally stepped forward to preside over his daughter's awakening. When little Erlong placed her soft, white little hand on the awakening stone, boom! An extremely intense, violently wild flame suddenly erupted from the awakening stone. The blazing firelight instantly illuminated the entire secret chamber, and even the surrounding air temperature rose sharply, as if it were about to melt everyone. Father's eyes widened suddenly, his eyes filled with shock. What a violent power! With this kind of energy fluctuation, even if it's not a pure blue lightning tyrant dragon, it is definitely an extremely rare top-tier martial soul. I stood to the side, arms crossed, the corners of my mouth slightly upturned. Shocked already? The real show is still to come. Under everyone's bated breath, on Liu Erlong's small body, an amazing change began to occur. Accompanied by a faint dragon roar, patches of fine, violent, fire-colored dragon scales quickly covered her body. An extremely powerful, destructive dragon pressure, accompanied by the raging flames, swept through the entire room. Second uncle Yu Luomian froze for a second. Then his eyes instantly turned red. He was shaking with excitement as he rushed forward, looking at his daughter covered in fiery red dragon scales.
He actually laughed wildly toward the sky.
Fire dragon! It's a fire dragon! The martial soul is not just a dragon type, but one that, even in the entire history of the blue lightning tyrant dragon family, is extremely rare. In terms of individual destructive power, it's a top-tier mutated martial soul that doesn't even lose to the blue lightning tyrant dragon. Watching second uncle's family weep with joy, and seeing the gratified smile on father's face, I secretly clenched my fist. Liu Erlong's fate has been completely rewritten by me. She is no longer that wandering, suffering woman whose feelings were toyed with by Yu Xiaogang, but the blue lightning tyrant dragon sect's legitimate and rightful favored daughter of heaven. Well then, next it's time to solve my own problem. I turned my head, looking toward the sunset forest with a deep gaze. The immortal grass of the ice and fire yin yang I. Here I come, next. I used training as an excuse to bid farewell to my father and set out alone on a journey to Sunset Forest. Of course, as the precious one of my sect, I knew my father secretly assigned a loyal soul emperor to follow me. The shadow guard, Yu Ying, tailed me in secret, but that was just what I wanted. And coincidentally, on the day I left the sect, my brother, who had struggled for 9 years, still stuck at level 19, and couldn't even be called a soul master, my useless younger brother, Yu Xiaogang, finally couldn't stand it anymore in the clan. He left behind a letter and ran away from home. Before leaving, that kid cursed me crazily in his heart, hoping I'd end up crippled on the road. In his letter, he arrogantly claimed he was going out on his own and would go to Spirit City and Spirit Hall to study, to prove he was a theoretical genius. When I read it, I just found it hilarious. Go ahead then. Hope the guards at Spirit City are gentle with him. After several days of long-distance travel, I finally arrived at a small inn on the outskirts of Sunset Forest to check out the experts nearby. I sat in the lobby and observed, and immediately I spotted someone extremely eye-catching. That person was wrapped in baggy clothes and wore a veil, so much so that you couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. But the steady and powerful soul power coming from them meant they were definitely a top-tier master. Trying to avoid trouble, I went to the front desk to get a room. By unlucky chance, the inn only had 2 luxury rooms, so me and this mysterious person ended up as neighbors. When going upstairs, I took a closer look at the person and noticed a head of smooth, soft hair under those loose robes. I cursed myself for being stupid and blurted out, "It's actually a woman." As soon as the words left my mouth, the mysterious person in front of me suddenly froze. Turns out, it's a woman. Under the veil, Bibi Dong's face turned red with anger. As the most beautiful female spirit master recognized in Spirit City, she had only ever heard compliments since she was young. Yet today, a brat like me remarked in a surprised tone, "Oh, you're a woman," and practically mocked her. If not for the need to hide her identity, she almost lost it on the spot. I gave an awkward smile and quickly entered my room. I had no idea that the woman I had just mocked was actually the Holy Maiden of Spirit Hall, the future Pope, Bibi Dong. She had just reached the level 50 bottleneck and couldn't stand her teacher Qian Zunji's disgusting controlling ways anymore. So she came to Sunset Forest to hunt soul beasts for relief. The next morning, I headed straight for the depths of Sunset Forest. Because of my remark, Bibi Dong became extremely curious about me. She even brought her soul emperor bodyguard Lu and quietly followed me. But right now, I didn't have time to care about them behind me. After moving through the forest for half a day, I finally caught a whiff of hot, humid air with a sulfurous smell. Climbing up a 500-meter high hill and looking down, I saw an inverted cone-shaped valley appear before my eyes. Third soul skill, golden dragon eyes. My eyes instantly turned dazzling pure gold. Immense power pierced through layers of toxic mist. I saw the breathtaking scene at the bottom of the basin clearly. Red and white springs flowed side by side without mixing. Crystal clear, surrounded by glowing, immortal-grade herbs. Not a soul had beaten me here. This place was practically an untapped treasure trove. But immediately after, my gaze sharpened. Next to the ice and fire yin-yang eye, coiled a giant, half-human, half-snake beast, emitting a terrifying aura. At least a 30,000-year top-tier soul beast Medusa. I took a deep breath. A 30,000-year-old Medusa is absolutely not something I could handle at level 45. That thing is guaranteed to drop a soul bone if killed. I immediately turned and ran down the hill, planning to find the shadow guard Yu Ying to see if we could team up and take her down. But as soon as I got down the hill, I saw Yu Ying confronting 2 people. It was none other than the veiled woman from the inn and her bodyguard. I spoke. "Yu Tianjun from the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. You 2 have been following me. That's not just a coincidence, is it?" I looked at her coldly and directly called out her real name, Bibi Dong. Realizing her cover was blown, she gave up pretending, but made up a really lame excuse. "I'm just here to see if there's anything fun going on." Fun. Seriously. A peak soul sect master. Came to deep sunset forest for sightseeing. Seeing her make excuse after excuse and refuse to leave, I worried my secret about the immortal herbs would get exposed, and finally lost my patience. If you won't leave, then let's just do this. I gave a cold snort, and instantly activated my martial spirit. Radiant golden dragon scales covered my arms. 1 yellow, 3 purple. 4 soul rings beyond even the theoretical limit appeared with a boom. The ultimate power's pressure swept across the place. When she saw my soul rings, the arrogance in Bibi Dong's eyes was fully ignited. If you want to fight, I'll go all out. Bibi Dong's legs instantly faded away, transforming into a massive spider body with 8 thick, hairy legs, covered in green hair and corrosive slime. 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 perfectly matched soul rings lit up. A top-level poison martial spirit, Death Spider Emperor. Old witch is old witch. All she knows is using these disgusting venomous bugs, trying to provoke her into giving it her all. I went all out with my taunts. What did you call me? Old witch Bibi Dong trembled with rage. Her 4th soul ring instantly shone. 4th soul skill, Aura of Death. A massive death spider empress opened its jaws, its bloody fanged mouth lunging at me ferociously. Bring it on. I grinned with a crazed smile. My jet black 4th soul ring burst forth. 4th soul skill, instant flash. Dragon fang strike. My figure vanished on the spot with unstoppable power and reappeared right in front of Bibi Dong. Golden dragon claw slashed out. A fierce pure gold dragon head phantom roared out, crushing her spider projection head-on. Boom! The terrifying energy shockwave exploded. The blast sent Bibi Dong's veil flying, revealing a face so stunning that even I couldn't help but be amazed. But my hand didn't pause for a second. Golden dragon claw stopped steadily at her fair neck. You lost, old witch? Looking at her breathtaking face, I uttered the words slowly and deliberately, stabbing straight to the heart. Bibi Dong almost choked on her anger. She was the dignified holy maiden of Spirit Hall, invincible among her peers, and yet was defeated head-on by a 15-year-old boy, and called an old witch to her face. But Bibi Dong was still Bibi Dong. She realized I had held back. She snorted coldly, picked up her veil and put it back on, and left with her bodyguard keeping her word. Watching Bibi Dong leave, I didn't rush to snatch the immortal herbs. Instead, I turned to Yu Ying. Get back to the clan immediately. Don't alarm anyone. Tell my father. Just say I was gravely injured during training, and have him come and get me himself. I know all too well, when it's time to grab the treasure, only a fool would act alone. The immortal herbs are right there. They're not going anywhere. Bibi Dong might circle back at any moment. So I'll just have my dad, the level 92 title Doluo, come over and wipe everyone out. 2 days later, my father, Yu Yuanzhen, who heard his beloved son was badly injured, was so anxious his eyes turned red, and dashed to Sunset Forest as fast as lightning. Only when he saw me perfectly fine at the cave entrance did he finally breathe a sigh of relief. Then he realized, you little brat faked your injuries and tricked your old man into coming here. What world-shaking secret did you discover? I grinned sheepishly and led my father up the mountain where the ice and fire yin-yang I was, seeing all the immortal herbs everywhere, and seeing the terrifying, poisonous 30,000-year-old Medusa. My father gasped in shock, and then his eyes filled with ecstatic joy. Good boy. You just found a gold mine for our clan. Normally, I wouldn't need to say much. Father immediately activated his spirit possession. 7th spirit skill, true body of the martial soul. A massive deep blue thunder dragon, over 100 meters long, instantly filled half the valley. Faced with a 30,000-year-old Medusa, a title Doluo's overwhelming power is absolutely ruthless. 6th spirit skill, Thunder Fury. A sky full of thunder and lightning crashed down. Medusa's prideful serpent hair was instantly scorched black by electricity. In despair, she tried to activate her petrification ray, but was lifted by father's massive dragon claw. A huge rock easily blocked it. In less than half a stick of incense's time, Medusa fell to the ground in hatred. Father tore open her corpse with a single claw and laughed heartily. as he pulled out a brilliantly glowing red object. A 30,000-year Medusa skull. This is a huge score. This is a top-grade spiritual skull. Once the danger was dealt with, Father and I started an all-out treasure hunt. Following the ancient book I had forged earlier, I precisely claimed the fortune meant for me. The octagonal mysterious icegrass and fiery intercourse book, the gorgeous tulip and 8-petal immortal orchid, and the path of far-seeing waters. To avoid my body exploding from energy, I first took the gorgeous tulip, which neutralizes medicinal effects, and the 8-petal immortal orchid. The instant the immortal herbs entered my stomach, an immense and pure medicinal power rapidly surged throughout my body. The bottleneck in my soul power, stuck for so long, was instantly broken. Level 46, 47, 50, just one spirit ring away. I'm a 15-year-old spirit king, but that's not all. I could clearly feel the golden dragon spirit within me grow even more dazzling and radiant, releasing waves of satisfying dragon roars. It felt as if my bloodline was further purified. Meanwhile, Father swallowed a miraculous Qi Rong through heaven treasure. When he opened his eyes, the thunder force all around seemed to rip the space apart. He howled up at the sky excitedly, level 93. I finally broken through the bottleneck I was stuck at for 9 years. Father and son looked at each other and laughed. We totally hit the jackpot this time. Come on, son. I'll take you to hunt your 5th spirit ring. Father, now far stronger, was bursting with confidence. We dove straight into the depths of Sunset Forest. With his level 93 power, we rampaged through without resistance. Very soon, we locked onto a 30,000-year mountain-breaking flood dragon. With the ultimate power of the golden dragon suppressing it, plus Father's explosive attacks, the 30,000-year dragon was soon beaten to near death. I sat cross-legged, enduring the terrifying energy impact, and forcefully absorbed its black spirit ring. The lingering power of the immortal herbs, combined with the feedback from this 30,000-year spirit ring, made my soul power rise again. Finally, I stabilized at level 53. Age 15, level 53 Spirit King. After absorbing it, I casually asked about the remaining immortal herbs. Is there some for Xiaogang? Hearing that name, my father, who had just been beaming with joy, immediately went dark as a pot's bottom. No need to save any for that bastard. He ran off after leaving a note. Our clan poured so many resources into him, and instead of being grateful, he actually complained about us neglecting him. Father cursed him out angrily. I sneered in my mind, "You Xiaogang, you brought this on yourself. You did this to yourself. You've lost any chance at fortune from now on." Meanwhile, far outside Spirit City, that self-important guy, thinking he could make it big outside the clan, Yu Xiaogang, was standing in front of the Spirit Hall Advanced Academy's gates, proudly showing off his soul yellow spirit ring. Take a good look. This is a 100-year spirit ring. Most people couldn't even absorb such a top-tier ring. But the security guard at the gate looked at him like he was an idiot and snorted with laughter. The security guard directly activated his spirit. 2 yellow, 1 purple, the perfect 3-ring combination. It totally stunned Yu Xiaogang. Where did this country bumpkin come from? Not even level 20 and you dare freeload at the Advanced Academy? This is Spirit City. You could throw a brick and hit 10 people with 100-year rings. Yu Xiaogang's face flushed bright red. Get lost, get lost, get lost. Go play in the mud with the kids at the junior academy next door. Like chasing a fly, the security guard kicked out this so-called theory master, leaving Yu Xiaogang standing dazed in the wind, his face stinging from the smackdown. At the same time, with his head held high, Yu Xiaogang, whose fate was fragile as paper, was shivering in the wind outside Spirit City. Meanwhile, Father and I had already traveled overnight, quietly returning to the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. The moment we arrived back, Father didn't even take a sip of water, and immediately ordered the main hall to be sealed off. He secretly summoned the clan's most core leaders. These people weren't just the undisputed rulers of our clan, but also completely loyal to my father. The secret chamber's doors were heavily closed. Besides father and me, only second uncle Yu Luomin, the one who helped me awaken my martial soul back then. Elder Yu Luozu, a soul saint, and a highly respected elder, old enough to be grandfather's peer, the Grand Elder. Grand Elder Yu looked at the three elders before him. Father gave a wry smile, with a hint of heaviness in his eyes. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan may claim to have the strongest beast spirits, and ranks among the top 3 clans. But now at the very top, there's only him, just one newly minted title Deluo, still barely holding the fort. The 3 in front of us, Grandpa Yu Taiyu is level 84, second uncle and Elder Luo both stuck at Soul Center, leaving the clan hopelessly short-handed. It's become an urgent crisis. Big brother, you called us old bones here in such a rush. Is something big going on? Second uncle Yu Luomin is straightforward. Sensing the serious atmosphere, he couldn't help but speak first. Father took a deep breath, putting away his helplessness, and became extremely solemn. Speaking word by word, I called you here this time, to distribute a brand new treasure among you. As long as you refine it, our clan's core strength is sure to make a qualitative leap. These are immortal-grade herbs. As soon as he said this, second uncle and Elder Yu Luozong hadn't reacted yet. But the elderly, Grand Elder Yu Tei, who'd been meditating quietly, suddenly jolted in surprise. He immediately sat upright, staring at my father Yuan Zun in disbelief. Are you serious? Father nodded solemnly. Without another word, he took out 3 special jade boxes, directly from his storage soul tool. With a pop, the lids opened. Inside were 3 herbs, glowing softly, each emitting a terrifying energy aura. Everyone was stunned by the sight. Just breathing in a trace of the fragrance made the 3 veteran powerhouses present feel their blood surging within them. Even the bottlenecks they'd been stuck at for years seemed on the verge of breaking through. The 3 treasured herbs were the Phoenix Rooster Comb, Narcissus Jade Musclebone, and 9-grade Purple Ganoderma. Father pointed at the treasures in the box, speaking in a deep voice about their unimaginable power. Looking at those 3 legendary treasures said to defy the heavens, second uncle and Yu Luokong's breathing suddenly became extremely heavy. However, what I never expected was, the first one to calm down was actually the Grand Elder who most longed for a breakthrough. Yu Taiyu. The old man stared intensely at the one that could strengthen his foundation, extend his life for several more years, and even help him reach the title Daluo level, the grade 9 Purple Ganoderma. A flash of intense struggle appeared in his eyes, but after just a moment, that struggle turned into peaceful acceptance. Forget it. Yu Taiyu waved his hand, smiling bitterly as he sighed, and leaned his body back against the chair. Wan Zahan, I'm already almost 100 years old. Even if I eat this immortal herb, at best I'd only gain another decade or so. This kind of heaven-defying treasure would just be wasted on me. It's better to leave it for the next generation of our sect. I stood to the side, my heart stunned deeply, faced with the temptation to extend life and enhance power. This elder could actually give it up without hesitation, just to save the resource for the young. This is what truly makes the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan able to stand strong on this continent. Compared to Yu Xiaogang, who's constantly complaining about the sect, and obsessed with proving himself, he's not even worthy to carry the old man's shoes. Uncle Yu's eyes grew red.
He was about to persuade him,
But was firmly interrupted by Taiyu's hand gesture. No need to say more. When you're old, you have to accept it. Let the young have some hope. Father let out a deep sigh, knowing the elder's mind was made up. So he could only look to second uncle and Yu Luokong, who knew Shu Yu Luomian would also grin, and waved his hand nonchalantly. Bro, I won't eat it either. This mechanized phoenix sunflower's effect is of the fire attribute, and mainly purifies the bloodline. I've reached my limits in this life. I'm probably stuck as a soul sage forever. But my daughter Erlong's fire dragon spirit is far purer than mine. If she gets this immortal herb, she could certainly become our clan's next title Deluo. Elder Yu Luokong agreed with a smile. That's right, bro. We grew up together. My talent is about the same as Luomian's. If possible, I'd like to save this water immortal jade marrow. for my grandson who just awakened his spirit. Seeing these elders selflessly yielding and caring solely about the sect's legacy, Father shook his head with red eyes and a bitter smile. In the end, the mechanized phoenix sunflower went to Lium Erlong, and the water immortal jade marrow was given to Yu Xiaogang's grandson. As for the grade 9 purple Ganoderma, Father wanted to avoid suspicion, in case others thought he was keeping it for Yu Xiaogang. So he directly sealed it with a secret method, and stored it in the deepest sect vault. What's more, that ingrate Yu Xiaogang had already run off after handing out the immortal herbs. The tense atmosphere in the secret chamber finally loosened. Right then, Elder Yu Taiyu suddenly turned to look at him. Those aging but sharp eyes flashed with a golden light. Yuanzhen, I see that Tianjun has come back from this trial, with his aura deeply concealed, yet unfathomably powerful. Did his cultivation break through again?
Hearing this,
the gloom vanished instantly from my father's face. He couldn't hide his proud and somewhat triumphant grin. To tell you the truth, Uncle Yu, Father took a deep breath, and his voice thundered through the hall. Tianjun, during this journey in Sunset Forest, absorbed 2 top-tier immortal herbs, and already broke through to level 53. Soul King, what? Level 53? Second uncle and Yu Luokong were so shocked they jumped up from their chairs. Even usually calm Yu Taiyu couldn't help but gasp deeply. A 15-year-old Soul King. Yu Taiyu's beard trembled with excitement. He kept saying excellent 3 times. Excellent, excellent, heaven bless the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. With Tianjun's strength soaring, for the sky competition 6 months from now, we finally have a chance to regain our pride. Sky competition, I noticed this term keenly, and looked at my father with some confusion. Father coughed, and surprisingly his face turned a bit embarrassed. Tianjun, the Sky Champion, is an exchange event held every 10 years among the 3 top clans and major sects. A grand event for the younger generation, with each clan offering up rare treasures as prizes. But more importantly, it concerns each clan's ideals. The 7 Treasure Glazed Tile clan is support-based, basically never fights, so the finals every time are almost always between us and the Clear Sky clan. But at this point, Father's voice grew quieter and quieter, as if embarrassed. All right, Yuanzhen, we're all family here. No need to be shy. Yu Taiyu smiled wryly and picked up the story, his tone extremely complex, with even a trace of frustration. Since I can remember, in the finals of the sky competition, our Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan has never won. Once every 10 years, for a total of 9 times. All losses. The Clear Sky Clan is known as the world's #1 hammer. They're truly unmatched. Yu Taiyu sighed. Not a single win. Defeated 9 times in a row. I couldn't help but twitch my mouth. Thinking about it makes sense. That bunch of blacksmiths from the Clear Sky Clan really are strong. The previous generation had one of the 3 peak Daluos, Tang Chen. This generation has the twin stars, Tang Zhao and Tang Hao. I heard that Tang Hao is about 21 years old this year, and not only masters exploding rings and disorder-splitting wind, but his power is already at a terrifying level D. Father added, his eyes full of fear. A 21-year-old Soul Emperor, hearing my elder's grave tones. I wasn't even a bit afraid standing there. Instead, my golden dragon bloodline began to boil wildly. So what if he's 6 or 7 years older than me? Or his soul power is a few ranks higher? Now, not only do I have the golden dragon, ancestor of strength, but my martial spirit benefited from the top immortal herb, and I absorbed a 30,000-year 5th soul ring. My body is tough enough to face a soul sage head-on. Does he really think his scrap hammer can smash my premium golden dragon? This streak of defeat, the shame of 9 straight losses, will end with me, Yu Tianjun. Let it be over once and for all. Tang Hao, are you ready to get beat? This grand gathering of all the major clans would take place at the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile clan, the most dazzling among the 7 clans. The 7 Treasure Glazed Tile clan's mounting gate was astonishing. To show their confidence, Father only brought me, only us 2 representing the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, going solo. Just as we entered the main hall, representatives from all the clans had mostly arrived. On the host seat, the master of the 7 Treasure Clan was the first to greet us with a smile. I also noticed the person beside him, who looked gentle and refined, but whose eyes shone with keen intelligence. Ning Fengyi. Ning Fengyi and I exchanged a smile, silently signaling goodwill to each other. But the atmosphere on the other side of the hall was far from so friendly. Long time no see, Yu Yuanjin. Your power has improved quite a bit. Sitting with the Clear Sky clan was a middle-aged man with an arrogant look, who spoke with a strange, sarcastic tone. This man was the current Grand Elder of the Clear Sky clan, Tang Yi. And behind him stood two young men exuding powerful auras, who were the famous Clear Sky twin stars, Tang Zhao and Tang Hao. Elder Tang Yi, long time no see. You're about to become a titled Deluo yourself. Father replied with a lukewarm comeback. Tang Yi stroked his beard lightly. With a proud face, he pushed Tang Zhao and Tang Hao forward, saying out loud, "It's just a title achieved during some kids' training." But that sense of superiority from being the #1 clan in the world, it was practically overflowing. Father's eyes darkened slightly. He sneered and made a ruthless remark. "Today I'll make sure my son experiences the talents of your clan." The lucky draw before the exchange started. The 7 treasure glazed tile clan came in flush with cash. They immediately slapped down a property deed for a shop in Heavendo City. The other clans knew this year Heishan clan would probably win again, so they just tossed in some ordinary valuables to make up the numbers. When it was our turn, Father gave a cold laugh. He pulled directly from his soul tool storage 10 supreme grade snow silkworms. These are the finest of all cordyceps. Instantly, the big shots in the room all stared. Tang Yi burst out laughing at the scene. "Excellent, excellent. Worthy of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. Such generosity. Looks like Heishan clan will reap big rewards today." In his eyes, with Tang Hao holding the fort, these 10 top-tier snow silkworms were as good as his already. Elder Tang predicted victory before the match even started. My father flashed a particularly mysterious smile. "If that's the case, Elder, do you dare make a bet with me? Let's see who will win." Of course, if the so-called #1 clan can't produce a matching prize, then forget it. Just saying #1 clan left Tang Yi without an easy way out. His expression changed on the spot. He painfully pulled out more than 10 lesser-aged vermilion lotus roots. The entire place erupted into an uproar. Even the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, who'd lost 9 years straight, was going crazy today. After the drawing, my first opponent was Hu Yanxi from the Elephant Armor clan among the lower 4 clans. This guy was just over 20. Level 38 Soul Master. He possessed the so-called strongest defense, the Diamond Mammoth Martial Spirit. "I'm Hu Yanxi. Please give me your guidance. I'm Yu Tianjun. Please teach me." I took my stance. No sign of underestimating the enemy. Even a lion uses full force to hunt a rabbit. I'll go all in. Today I'm here to regain my clan's lost honor. I absolutely can't lose in a fluke. Martial Spirit Body Enhancement. Hu Yanxi let out a low shout. His body shot upward. His muscles swelled like granite. To be safe, he unhesitatingly activated 3 amplifying soul skills in a row, taking his body strength to a truly terrifying level. He was even confident he could withstand a soul ancestor's attack. Yet, when he refocused on me, his pupils shrank to the size of needlepoints. 1 yellow, 3 purple, and an incredibly dazzling, pitch-black 10,000-year spirit ring rose roaringly from under my feet. What Yu Tianjun level 53 Soul King Hu Yanxi was silently cursing like crazy in his head. What kind of freak is this guy? The place went instantly dead silent. The elders of Elephant Armor clan all jumped to their feet in shock. There was no time for Hu Yanxi to react. My figure flickered suddenly. Almost instantly, I charged right in front of him. My right fist turned into a dragon claw. Radiant golden light exploded with a bang. Bang, no delay. He couldn't even see which soul skill I used. The triple-layered defense he put up just got sent flying like a kite with a broken string, blasted away by a single savage punch. An instant KO the moment I appeared. Absolutely no suspense, a clean instant kill. The crowd was shocked. Haoshan clan's Grand Elder Tang Yi's face instantly changed. He lowered his voice and asked Tang Zhao behind him, "If you face this, Yu Tianjun, how much chance do you have to win?" Tang Zhao hesitated. "If he doesn't go all out, I'd say it's 50-50. Tang Hao nearby lifted his chin arrogantly. "I will definitely win, and quickly." The next batch of opponents lost their nerve before even fighting. On the final stage, only I remained, and Tang Hao, the one hailed as this generation's #1 prodigy. I cockily hooked my finger at him. "Come on. Defeating you next, Tang Hao, means I should go back and cultivate. I'm busy." The always proud Tang Hao was completely enraged by me. He stormed onto the stage. 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 2 black. Also a nearly perfect Soul Emperor combo. Tang Hao raised his 1,000-pound clear sky hammer. Killing intent surged. "Dare to face me? Why wouldn't I?" I scoffed coldly. Golden dragon scales instantly covered my body. Referee Jiu Long gave the signal. Tang Hao shot off the ground. He didn't probe or test. He started with a killing technique. Random swing hammer combo. Watching him stack one hammer strike after another, the stone slabs on the ground were smashed into deep pits. I narrowed my eyes. I can't let him fully stack all 80 hammers. Fourth soul skill, instant flash dragon fang strike. A godly technique with spatial teleportation erupted. I ignored all spatial distance, and instantly appeared right in front of Tang Hao's face. Tang Hao was shocked. His accumulating random swing was abruptly interrupted. He hastily counterattacked. Bang! He was forced back by a golden dragon head blow, shattering more than a dozen floor tiles. Cold sweat instantly soaked his back. "Sadly, you're still just a soul king, while I'm a soul emperor." Tang Hao steadied his breath for a moment. Driven to desperation, he immediately lit up his 6th 10,000-year spirit ring. The clear sky hammer in his hand swelled in the wind, becoming as massive as a big tree in the blink of an eye. With overwhelming might, he crashed it toward me. Facing this all-out strike, I didn't dodge at all. Instead, I laughed wildly toward the sky. My 30,000-year 5th black spirit ring burst forth. 5th skill, Dragon King Break. The ultimate power of a divine spear condensed in my hands, transforming into a golden spear over 10 feet long. I hurled the spear powerfully with my right arm, crashing head-on into the massive clear sky hammer with a sonic boom. Not only that, with a single thought, my 2nd spirit ring glowed at the same time. Golden Dragon Roar. A dragon's roar, so terrifying it could shake a Soul Emperor's spirit, burst out. Tang Hao went completely blank in an instant. Strength in his hands weakened by a third. "Too bad your skill can't be thrown." I sneered again. Activated again. Flash Dragon Fang Strike. I darted straight to his blind spot at his abdomen. Bang! Helpless Tang Hao was, slammed skyward by my dragon claw. He sprayed blood midair. As I prepared to finish off and eliminate this future threat completely, Grand Elder Tang Yi from Haoshan clan rasped his voice. "Stop!" I landed steadily and glared coldly at Tang Yi, who was cradling the gravely injured Tang Hao. The once invincible Tang Hao has lost, but I'm not done yet. I still have a trump card. Tang Hao struggled to stand and roared in unwillingness. Can't accept defeat. Haoshan clan isn't so great after all. I mocked him mercilessly. However, right at this moment, Tong Zhao, a 36-year-old level 71 soul sage, had his eyes turn red. Ignoring the elder's attempts to stop him, he roared, "Despicable! How dare you scheme against me? Fight me!" I looked at this fiercely protective brother with disdain. "Fine, I'll take care of you too." Tang Zhao summoned his clear sky hammer. 1 yellow, 2 purple, and 3 black 7 soul rings erupted. His first soul skill, Earth Hammer, smashed toward me with incredibly fierce force. This was the attack of a soul sage, but I didn't even try to dodge. First soul skill, Golden Dragon Body, all attributes surged by 80%. I raised my left arm covered in golden dragon scales and forcefully blocked Tang Zhao's giant hammer. Under Tang Zhao's extremely terrified gaze, I unleashed another point-blank attack, Golden Dragon Roar, stunning his soul. Following that, my thick and powerful right arm shot out like a cannonball, my fists cutting like knives, and blasted directly into his chest. Theft. Before Tang Zhao could even activate his martial soul avatar, my punch fractured his ribs, and he passed out on the spot. Double kill. At 15 years old, Yu Tianjun, single-handedly, ruthlessly rubbed the faces of the twin stars of Clear Sky into the ground. The chief elder of the Clear Sky clan, Tong Yi, was so furious he couldn't even hold the wager steady. He threw down the cinnabar lotus, grabbed the two brothers, and slinked out of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile clan. In the entire hall of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile clan, leaders of various clans came forward to thank my father. And amidst this chorus of praise, I calmly turned and walked away. The arrogance of the Clear Sky clan. I smashed it inch by inch today. With Tong Yi taking the severely injured Tang brothers and fleeing in disgrace, the entire hall of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile clan was in a complete uproar. The big shots of the major clans, changing their previous wait-and-see attitude, surged toward my father like a tide. All sorts of flattering words poured out as if they cost nothing. Congratulations, clan leader Yu. With your son's talent, becoming a title de luo in the future is an absolute certainty. Looking at my father's glowing face, as he enjoyed everyone's flattery, I shook my head and chuckled, ready to go alone and take a stroll in the back garden of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile clan. After all, as the wealthiest clan in the world, the grandeur here was definitely worth seeing. Brother Yu, wait a moment. A gentle voice came from behind. I turned to look, and it was Ning Fengyi, the young master of the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile clan. He walked up with a face full of smiles. Brother Yu, what impressive skills. It's been many years since the Clear Sky clan has suffered such a massive setback. I humbly waved my hand. Brother Ning, you flatter me. It was just a fluke. Seeing that I didn't have the usual arrogance of a genius, Ning Fengzi's desire to befriend me grew even stronger. Not only did he volunteer to be my tour guide, but he also naturally extended an olive branch. Brother Yu, I recently just touched the threshold of level 50. I wonder, when I go to the Stardow Forest to hunt for a soul ring in a few days, would you have the time to join me? I praised inwardly this high emotional intelligence of Ning Fengyi. You've got your eye on my ultimate martial soul, and I've got my eye on your clan's terrifying buffs and financial power. A powerful alliance. How could I possibly refuse such a good deal? A few days later, Ning Fengyi successfully broke through. With the secret protection of the pinnacle of swordsmanship, Sword De Luo Chanshin, the two of us stepped into the Stardow Forest. Ning Fengyi needed a strength-type soul ring, and we quickly locked onto a 12,000-year-old earth leopard. Brother Ning, it's up to you. I shouted loudly, directly activating my martial soul possession and charging forward. Standing at the back, Ning Fengyi smiled faintly and raised the dazzling Seven Treasure Glazed Tile Pagoda with his right hand. 7 treasures have names. The first is speed, the second is defense, the fourth is attribute boost. 3 brilliant rays of light instantly entered my body. At that moment, I finally understood the terror of the continent's #1 support. His 4-ring level buff directly caused my speed, defense, and all attributes to surge by 50%. Moreover, this buff even strengthened my internal organs along with them. First soul skill, Golden Dragon Body. I didn't hesitate to stack my own percentage-based divine skill, and all attributes skyrocketed again by 80%. Under this insane double buff, as a 15-year-old 5-ring soul king, my physical strength at this moment was directly elevated to an inhuman level comparable to a high-tier soul sage. Get down. I laughed wildly, my golden dragon claw carrying a sonic boom that tore through the air, landing a solid punch on the earth ape's chest. This 10,000-year soul beast didn't even have time to let out a scream before it was brutally smashed flying for hundreds of meters by me. It collapsed directly, vomiting blood and unable to get up. Sword de Luo Chunshin, hiding in the shadows, nodded repeatedly in approval, secretly amazed in his heart. This kid from the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan has combat talent that is simply astonishing. Just as Ning Fengyi stepped forward to finish it off and absorb the soul ring, I keenly noticed in the distant bush a sneaky figure. Who is it? Get out here. My eyes turned fierce, and the phantom of the golden dragon head on my right hand instantly readied itself to strike. Brother, don't attack. I'm just passing by. A young man with a hooked nose and crystal glasses walked out in a panic with his hands raised. He had a pair of wings on his back and 3 soul rings, 2 yellow, 1 purple pulsating under his feet. I am Flender, level 40, here to look for a suitable soul beast. Flender? I was suddenly stunned. Isn't this the future dean of Shrek Academy? Yu Xiaogang, for your so-called golden iron triangle. Isn't he your real carry? An extremely bold idea instantly flashed through my mind. In the original story, Flender and Lium Erlong relied on Yu Xiaogang's Luo Sanpao to perform a martial soul fusion. Since my golden dragon shares the same origin as Luo Sanpao, doesn't that mean I can also steal this martial soul fusion skill? Thinking of this, the murderous intent on my face instantly retracted, replaced by a smile as refreshing as a spring breeze. So it's Brother Flender? I am Yu Tianjun from the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. Meeting is a matter of destiny. Brother Flender, you have good talent. If you encounter any difficulties on the continent in the future, feel free to come find me at the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan at any time. Born at the grassroots level, the naturally cautious Flender was overwhelmed by the unexpected favor. He repeatedly thanked me before leaving. I looked at his receding back, and the corners of my mouth curled up wildly. Gangzi, oh Gangzi, your future wife Lium Erlong is being raised by me in my clan, and your future good brother Flender has also been recruited by me in advance. I'd like to see what you'll use in the future to piece together your golden iron triangle. After the hunt was over, Ning Fengyi and I said our goodbyes and I returned to the clan. Just as I got back, my second uncle gave me a task. It turned out that my father's secret guards finally found the trace of the runaway Yu Xiaogang in Martial Soul City. Although my father cursed him harshly, he still couldn't let go of this useless son in his heart.
He gave me a storage ring
And a precious lingy mushroom, asking me to visit him in Martial Soul City along the way. If he admitted his mistakes, I was to give him the lingy to nourish his body. Alright, I'll go see how miserably our grand theorist is doing. A few days later, I arrived alone in the bustling Martial Soul City and walked straight to the entrance of the Martial Soul Hall Advanced Spirit Master Academy. Excuse me, could you announce me? I'm looking for Yu Xiaogang, I said politely to the security guard at the door. The guard gave me a sidelong glance, looking me up and down, and sneered with extreme impatience. Yu Xiaogang? Never heard of him. What level is the person you're looking for? Level 19. Theft! Ha 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 ha! Level 19? The guard acted like he had heard the biggest joke in the world. With a face full of contempt, he pointed at my nose and cursed. You country bumpkin. Look carefully. This is the Martial Soul Hall Advanced Academy. A level 19 piece of trash. Doesn't even have the right to sweep the gates for our academy. You're looking for trouble, aren't you? As he spoke, the guard surprisingly activated his martial soul possession. 2 yellow and 1 purple soul rings lit up, and he lunged at me, baring his fangs and brandishing his claws. You worthless scum who look down on others. My expression instantly turned cold. I couldn't even be bothered to look at his martial soul. My right hand shot out like lightning and firmly locked his wrist in a grip. A sickening crack sounded with a tooth-aching crunch. The security guard let out a blood-curdling scream. I tossed him aside like trash and sent him flying straight, crashing into the academy's wall over 10 meters away. He was stuck so hard you couldn't even pull him off. And at that very moment, I had no idea that my younger brother Yu Xiaogang, the one I came looking for, was currently hiding in the shadows at the academy gate. He clearly saw me and heard that I was here for him. But when he saw me attack someone from Spirit Hall, his first reaction was to go pale with fright and curse wildly in his heart. Yu Tianjun, that idiot, is stirring up trouble here. People from Spirit Hall aren't to be messed with. Isn't this going to drag me down too? How am I supposed to stay here now? To disassociate himself. That extremely selfish Mo family member didn't say a word and slipped into an alley, disappearing without a trace. The commotion at the academy entrance instantly attracted a crowd of teachers and students. A middle-aged discipline director rushed over in a panic. He roared, "Who are you? How dare you make trouble at Spirit Hall Academy?" I stood with my hands behind my back. The terrifying aura of the golden dragon radiated out, forcing the surrounding students to back away. Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. I, Yu Tianjun, stared coldly at the headmaster. Your dog was rude. If he bites without a reason, I taught him a lesson for you. Any objections? Hearing the name of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, and sensing my unfathomable strength, all the director's fury was instantly cooled as if doused with ice water. He broke into a cold sweat in fear, and didn't even dare to speak loudly. In that tense standoff, from the steps of the school building, came the crisp sound of high heels. A veiled, graceful figure walked down slowly, her posture enchanting. She looked at me, surrounded by the crowd, with my aura fully unleashed. Her tone carried a hint of complexity and amusement. I didn't expect you to arrive in Spirit City so soon. Hearing her voice, the once arrogant discipline director suddenly trembled all over in fear and spun around, bowing at a 90-degree angle. His voice even started shaking. My lady saint. I looked at Bibi Dong, who was walking over slowly. A reckless smirk curled on my lips.
Dong.
I've long heard of the great lady of Spirit Hall. I gazed into his lovely eyes and said lightly with a smile. Bibi Dong dismissed everyone, walked up to me, and gave a little snort. Come with me. This is not the place to talk. I stood where I was, arms crossed, and bluntly spat out 2 words. Lively. Bibi Dong's flawless, turning back, suddenly froze in place. The veins on her forehead throbbed. As the exalted lady saint of Spirit Hall, she's always been the center of attention wherever she goes. She never imagined that even when she showed rare kindness and invited an outsider herself, she'd be rejected so thoroughly.
And so mercilessly.
Bibi Dong took a deep breath, forcing down her annoyance. She turned and bit her red lips. Her tone was cold, but there was clearly an undertone of explanation. You don't need to worry. Spirit Hall is fair and just... The hidden guards already reported the whole incident to me. It was that guard who was rude first. We won't take any action against you. That blind guard will be expelled from the academy immediately. She paused, looked at me with a complex gaze. Come with me. Just wait a moment. If that Yu Xiaogang is really at Ultimate Academy, someone will bring him here soon. I looked at this future unrivaled female pope, actually compromising with me. So I shrugged and gave her an out. Then I'll trouble you for a bit. In the depths of the academy, inside an extremely secluded private pavilion, Bibi Dong and I sat across from each other. Since our parting in Sunset Forest, it's only been about a month. I can't believe you've already stabilized at the Soul King realm. Bibi Dong's beautiful eyes flickered, unable to resist probing into the secret of my progress. I just smiled without answering, picked up my tea and took a sip, and started dodging her questions. Bibi Dong, left in the cold, turned her head with a sigh. The people she usually deals with are all constantly flattering her, but I'm always ambiguous toward her, never treating her as anyone lofty, just as an ordinary lady. Looking into my clear, dark gold dragon eyes, Bibi Dong suddenly froze in place. As if compelled by something, she softly asked, Yu Tianjun, do you think if a man looks at a beautiful woman with a gaze full of possessiveness and extreme malice, what does that mean? I raised an eyebrow. So you noticed, that old pervert Qian Zhangyi's gaze is off. I looked at her lost, an even slightly fearful expression, put down the teacup, and spoke seriously for once. You already know the answer in your heart, but what if that man is your teacher? Bibi Dong shot up abruptly. Her emotions suddenly turned turbulent. Her voice even trembled. I calmly looked at her and mercilessly exposed her denial. I told you, you already know the answer. You just don't want to believe it. With a thud, Bibi Dong slumped weakly into the chair. The light instantly drained from her beautiful eyes, leaving them completely dull. She gave a self-mocking smile and slowly removed her veil, revealing a breathtakingly beautiful face. That was my teacher, she murmured.
Honestly.
She had seen that disgusting look on many men who coveted her beauty. She just didn't want to believe that the man who raised her from childhood and taught her cultivation was also a wolf in sheep's clothing. If you've realized it, you should cut him off quickly, because once some things happen, they can never be undone. I offered a gentle piece of advice. This has nothing to do with sides. I'm simply a normal man who doesn't want to see such a genius ruined and defiled. Bibi Dong clenched her fists, opened her mouth to argue, but found herself with no grounds. She could only answer with a deeply bitter Amidst this heavy silence, the discipline director's voice came from outside the pavilion. My lady saint, Yu Xiaogang has been brought here. Let him in. Bibi Dong spoke with a hint of irritation. Her voice instantly returned to its usual coldness. Soon after, Yu Xiaogang walked into the pavilion alone, head lowered. When he looked up and saw me sitting inside, he froze for a moment. Then he fell into a dead silence. Why did you run away from home? Now you won't even call me brother. I let out a cold snort. Suddenly I stood up, walked to the edge of the pavilion, looking down at him from above. He felt the shadow I cast across his face. Yu Xiaogang instinctively flinched. But right after that, his youthful face started to twist, becoming grotesquely fierce. Suddenly, Yu Xiaogang looked up at me. His eyes red, he began to sneer coldly, as if he stood at the moral high ground. He started his outrageous accusations. You and father sparred in the training room, enjoying yourselves. Did you ever consider that I was locked up? Father personally took you to the Stardow forest when you went to hunt for soul rings. Did you ever think I had to go hunt for spirits on my own? In the end, I failed to absorb it and suffered backlash. Neither you nor father ever treated me like family. Yu Xiaogang grew increasingly agitated as he spoke, his voice getting louder and louder, as if he suffered a massive injustice. I almost burst out laughing when I heard it. Before I could respond, Bibi Dong sitting nearby finally couldn't take it anymore. As an extremely smart woman, she instantly saw through the foolishness in Yu Xiaogang's argument. Setting everything else aside, Bibi Dong spoke coldly. You failed to absorb your soul ring. Isn't that your own fault? I see you still don't have a second soul ring now. Are you telling me you tried to go above your level with your first soul ring, trying to absorb one at the 1,000-year level? The fierce look on Yu Xiaogang's face froze immediately. Remembering, it was just a mere 300-year trash ring he tried to absorb. Yan Kuilong suffered backlash. The courage he had built up vanished instantly.
He couldn't get a single word out.
Uninterested, Bibi Dong turned her head away. She lost all interest in this waste who only blamed others and escaped responsibility. You deal with it yourself. I nodded, slowly stepped down from the pavilion.
Tap, tap.
The sound of military boots hitting the ground was like a heavy hammer, pounding hard on Yu Xiaogang's heart. Xiaogang, you really let me down. I walked right up to him, glaring down coldly. I used to think you were naive. You tricked me into absorbing a plant-type soul ring, wanting to use me as a guinea pig. I didn't hold you accountable afterward, but I never expected. Father gave you so many resources, so many opportunities the geniuses of the clan never get, privileges others would never enjoy. And in your eyes, he is actually someone you resent. The murderous intent in my gaze started to surge wildly. Snack Eye suddenly raised my hand and delivered a powerful slap directly and forcefully across his face. Yu Xiaogang let out a miserable scream. His whole body flew backwards 7 or 8 meters, crashing heavily to the ground. Do you realize, in front of father, how worried I am about your safety outside? I unleashed my terrifying golden dragon aura.
Like
a mountain, pressing down hard on Yu Xiaogang. If you keep acting like a heartless traitor, I won't hesitate to help father clean house myself. Under the terrifying dragon's might, Yu Xiaogang collapsed to the ground. shaking all over like a leaf. His eyes filled with absolute terror. I'll take care of myself. I tossed those cold words at him and withdrew my dragon's might. With the pressure suddenly lifted, Yu Xiaogang felt like he'd been granted amnesty, scrambling and crawling out of the pavilion. Bibi Dong, who witnessed the whole thing, her beautiful eyes couldn't hide her admiration for me. Loyal and righteous, able to let go when needed. Never indulging a traitor like that. That's what a true man is. Sorry you had to witness that. I picked up my tea, drank it all in one gulp, turned and took my leave. I hope you understand what I said today. Don't ruin your reputation for life. I'll be sure to visit you again in the future. That's all I had to say today. I guess you and I are friends now. Bibi Dong shouted at my back. I didn't turn around, just waved my hand coolly, back facing her. Until we meet again. After I left, Bibi Dong, deeply troubled, returned to the main hall of the spirit hall, heard Qian Zunji calling for her. She forced herself to act calm and walked into the secret chamber.
Qian Zunji, the old fox, immediately saw her stiffness
And asked if she was feeling unwell. Bibi Dong quickly played along, acting like a nervous and delicate woman. Qian Zunji said nothing, just looked at her with extremely greedy and possessive dark eyes, staring at her intently for a long time. Go and rest. After she left, Bibi Dong's steps suddenly sped up. After seeing such disgusting eyes, she was utterly hopeless. So-called teacher-student affection meant nothing before the desires of this old pervert, not worth mentioning at all. She decided instantly, ordered her confidant immediately to announce her entering deep seclusion, no visitors allowed. Then left a letter. Under cover of night, she escaped from the spirit arena without hesitation. Meanwhile, I had already returned to the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. Just as I arrived at the gates, I saw Flender with his hooked nose, and the little girl. When Lium Erlong saw me return, they both just started to greet me, then suddenly froze. You brother, when you saw me just now, actually felt a surge of submission. Flender asked in shock. I felt a jolt inside. The golden dragon shares its origin with Luo Sanpao. Replacing Yu Xiaogang and getting them involved in a martial soul fusion skill definitely looks promising. I returned to the conference hall, reported to father. After I told him all of Yu Xiaogang's outrageous remarks, the last bit of hope in his eyes was utterly extinguished. He let out a heavy sigh. Let him be. But he soon pulled himself together, looking at me in a very mysterious way. Tianjun, go home and rest for a few days. In a couple days, father will take you to a place to train. That place is no joke. One mistake and you could die there. I felt a sudden jolt in my heart. Just where exactly is father taking me? Father spoke each word extremely solemnly. Slaughter City. Slaughter City. When I heard those 4 words, I didn't feel the slightest bit afraid. Instead, I felt a surge of ecstatic joy deep inside. As someone who's traveled between worlds, I'm well aware of exactly what that place is. That place is not only a lawless paradise where evil soul masters gather, but also has rules that prohibit soul skills. It's a leveling haven tailored just for a golden dragon soul master like me who relies on physical strength. A perfect spot for me to gain experience. Even more importantly, it's where the Asura god's inheritance is located. A few days later, while we were still rushing along dusty roads, my father brought me to a remote and hidden town. The moment I first set foot in the town, I instantly sensed that my father's aura had changed completely. Once the just and gentle clan leader, now he suddenly gave off an overwhelmingly violent vibe. A subtle dragon's might emanated from him. It startled the fierce-looking passers-by nearby, making them back away in fear. Looking at this group of desperados, I suddenly realized my father was teaching me by example that here brute strength is the only real pass. I immediately regained my composure, my gaze turning ice cold. A deadly aura radiated from me, warning others to stay away. We pushed open the door to a tavern. The instant the door opened, over 100 pairs of hostile eyes inside all turned to glare at me in unison. My father's face was expressionless. His figure suddenly flashed, and in an instant appeared right next to a burly, scar-faced man. He sharply raised his right hand, and with a dull thud, that man's head burst like a rotten watermelon, crushed on the spot. A geyser of blood shot into the air. The other outlaws around instantly went pale at the scene, and hurriedly averted their gazes in fear. My father looked coldly at the bartender. The bartender handed over 2 cups, trembling violently. My father filled one directly with the fresh blood, spraying from the headless corpse, then slid 1 cup toward me. Dare to drink it? I stared at that cup of foul, bloody liquid. A cruel, cold smile curled at the corner of my lips. I walked straight to the bar with my glass. Do you have anything else? The waiter glanced at me. After all, he must have seen too many deaths.
He quickly regained his composure.
A mocking look even flashed in his eyes. No, just Bloody Mary. If you even drink Bloody Mary, I'll drink your damn Bloody Mary. Before he could finish speaking, I suddenly struck out. My right hand instantly turned into a dazzling golden dragon claw. I crushed the waiter's head with 1 grip. Immediately, with a swift reversal, I ripped out his heart and squeezed it until it exploded. Blood splattered all over the floor. My father was beside me, nodding approvingly. I learned quickly. There are no rules here. Strength is the only rule. Just as I turned around with ease and slaughtered the remaining reckless outlaws in the bar, wiping them all out, I realized my father had quietly left. He had already led me to the door. From here on, I have to fight my own way. I walked up to the target platform. With 1 punch, I shattered the ground, revealing a pitch-black underground passage. Without any hesitation, I leaped down. After walking 1,000 meters through the passage, my vision suddenly cleared. In a vast underground plaza, 101 knights in black armor had been waiting for a long time. The leader pointed his spear at me and spoke coldly. Breaking the rules. Only if you defeat me can you enter the city of slaughter. I crossed my arms and looked him over with interest. Soul skills can't be used here. Then let's charge. With a roar from the opponent, 100 knights charged at me on horseback. It's a contest of bodies. Looking for death, golden light flashed in my eyes. Golden dragon body activated. Instead of backing off, I charged forward. Turning into a golden meteor, I crashed straight into the formation of knights. Boom! I have the physical strength of an advanced soul sage. My terrifying punch at full force shattered both the black-armored leader and his armor into a cloud of flying dust. In just a few punches and kicks, all 101 knights were killed by me with unstoppable ferocity. The ground was covered in severed limbs. Holding the 9527 ID card I found on a corpse, I was led by a veiled woman and officially entered the inner arena of the city of slaughter. This place is pure hell, a madhouse of demons. Scenes of people killing in public to vent their desires are everywhere. I didn't stop at all, casually crushing the skull of an outlaw who tried to ambush me, pouring his blood into the ticket container, and striding into the hell slaughter arena. To leave the city of slaughter, there's only one way: win 100 battles in the hell slaughter arena. Each round is a 10-person free-for-all, and only 1 person can walk out alive. As I stepped onto the ring, the other 9 vicious outlaws exchanged glances and tacitly agreed to gang up on the young new face me. They surrounded me to kill. They attacked together. Take out the weakest first. They treated me like an easy target. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. The golden dragon claw shot out instantly, radiating icy coldness. Huff, huff. I twisted suddenly, slashed out with my dragon claw, and the 3 in front were cut in half instantly. Torn up organs littered the ground. A guy with an iron rod martial soul foolishly went head-to-head with me. Good, come at me. I clenched both hands into fists and smashed down on his iron rod. Bang, the rod shattered, and his martial soul backlashed. Before he could cough up blood, my second punch had already landed, blasting his upper body into a bloody mess. In less than 2 minutes, 9 mangled bodies were left lying silently on the ring. bathed in blood. Not only did I not feel disgusted, I actually felt the berserk battle frenzy of the golden dragon bloodline within me, roaring uncontrollably. To hold power over life and death here is the life the ancestor of strength, was truly meant for. Because I never leave a whole body when I kill. My methods are brutally violent. Within a single day, I not only claimed my first kill, but also counter-killed a dozen scavengers on the street. Very quickly, my infamous nickname, Asura, spread throughout the city of slaughter. Late at night, just as I was drifting off, in a room still adorned with the head of its former owner, screams and shouts outside startled me awake. I grabbed a passerby and questioned him. Turns out an exceptionally beautiful woman had arrived, causing a riot. Disgusted, I smashed the guy against the wall and turned to go back inside, but caught a glimpse out of the corner of my eye of a terrifying spider covered in green fur and dripping corrosive slime. I whipped around and saw a woman covered in blood, 8 spider legs, hanging with chunks of flesh, holding a sword with a jagged broken blade, walking around the corner. On her face, there was no longer any trace of the proud holy maiden of Spirit Hall. Instead, it was replaced by a chilling, murderous aura. But the moment she saw me, her mask broke instantly, her face full of shock. The royal army. Met here too, huh? I was surprised too. Old Haggai shrugged. Bibi Dong tossed aside her battered sword and told me with a smile. She took my advice to escape, but was hunted by a soul saint-level expert sent by Qian Zunji, with nowhere else to go. She could only jump into the city of slaughter. I patted her on the shoulder. Relax, the world is wide. There are plenty of places to go. Once you get stronger here, just go out and take Spirit Hall for yourself. Your master is a scumbag anyway. Bibi Dong was shocked by my outrageous words, startled for a moment, but in the depths of her eyes, a new ambition quietly ignited. From that day on, the Hell Slaughter Arena gained 2 terrifying killers. One is me, Asura. The other is codenamed Rakshasa Bidong. Meanwhile, at this very moment, far away in Spirit City, Yu Xiaogang, whom I had slapped away, wasn't discouraged at all. On the contrary, in the library, he hit it off with a girl named Bai Shuxiu, who had a lizard martial soul. And the two of them were on the verge of developing a martial soul fusion skill. He was so excited, he was on the verge of madness. Heaven hasn't given up on me. As long as in this training journey, I can find a third compatible person and make up for my weakness, I'll still have a chance to step on Yu Tianjun one day. Staring up at Spirit City's dark sky, Yu Xiaogang had blind, extreme confidence in his eyes. He had no idea, while he's still busy, delighting in a flawed martial soul fusion skill, smug about it, and dreaming of surpassing his elder brother, his real brother. I've already kicked open the gates to the divine inheritance. In this living hell on earth, I started a bloody massacre on the road to godhood. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, I've been fighting in the hell arena of Slaughter City for 2 whole years now. From the first match to the 99th, honestly, I could have cleared all the rounds long ago. But I wasn't in a hurry to leave, because simply killing to clear the round can never give the ultimate tempering effect. Only by comprehending every moment of each kill, by enjoying and mastering it, that feeling of walking on the edge of life and death, can you truly squeeze out all the value from this place? And Bibidong has always stayed by my side. After leaving the Spirit Hall, he had nowhere to go, so he simply timed it right and decided to fight alongside me in this hell on earth. Ever since a year and a half ago, when I casually helped him kill a few outlaws who snuck into his room at midnight with bad intentions, the two of us just moved under the same roof so we could look out for each other. After all, even though he's now infamous as the fearsome Rakshasa, when you're alone in this sleepless hellhole, there's only so much energy anyone has. Time to go. Watching me toss a few personal belongings into my bag, Bibidong was already leaning on the doorframe. A trace of confusion and reluctance momentarily flashed across his eyes, so faint even he didn't notice it. I nodded. The training is basically done. Might as well get out of this hell early. Bibidong fell silent for a moment. I don't know what I'll do after leaving here. That old bastard Qian Zunji is probably still having people guard the outside of Slaughter City. It's something I'll have to face eventually. If I leave, you'll have a hard time even getting a good night's sleep in this place full of madmen. I couldn't help but shake my head and smile. Bibidong bit his red lip. If you're planning to leave, with your strength you can. I interrupted him without hesitation and gave him a weird look. I have my own sect behind me and my own family. Of course I won't go head to head against a giant like the Spirit Hall just for you. It's not like you're my woman, so why would I help you all the way to the end? After my blunt words, Bibidong's face instantly turned red right to his ears, shooting me a glare through gritted teeth. You idiot, spending too much time in this place. You're getting bolder and bolder with what you say. I ignored his coy complaint, turned around and pushed open the door. With a creak as the door opened, out on the street, dozens of vicious outlaws all dropped to one knee in unison. I waved my hand dismissively, signaling them to get up. These are the convicts I've subdued with my fists over the past 2 years. And farther away, in Slaughter City's inner city, almost everyone who managed to survive has gathered here, because they all know that the monster known as the Asura is holding his 100th killing match today. As long as he wins, this god of slaughter will leave this place. Thank you all for your attention. So today, who's going to offer me the last Bloody Mary? I curved my lips into a crazed, cruel grin, scanning the entire crowd with my gaze. Every criminal that made eye contact with me instantly broke out in a cold sweat, shaking all over and dropping their heads. No one even dared to breathe loudly. No one dared to run. Because anyone I set my sights on will absolutely not live past 15 minutes. You brat, how dare you make a fist with your left hand just now? Trying to assassinate me? I casually pointed at someone, one of the unlucky guys who'd once offended me, and as soon as I said that, there was no need for me to act. A few outlaws next to the unlucky one immediately exploded with action, raising their blades and chopping down, straight up cutting off the guy's head. Then they reverently handed me a cup of Bloody Mary, offering it up with both hands in front of me. This is Slaughter City. To curry favor with me, they could just as easily kill someone who was talking to me just seconds ago. I picked up that steaming hot cup of blood and walked toward the hell arena. Let's go pick out a few more you don't like. Make up the numbers, I said to Bibidong behind me. In the past 2 years, my reputation has become too notorious. As soon as Bibidong and I head to the arena, everyone was so terrified they'd scatter, and we could never get the 9 opponents required. So we could only fill the roster by calling out names. 30 seconds later, the 100th match. I casually shook off the flesh scraps and blood from my golden dragon claw and stepped out the arena doors. Bibidong followed close behind. He also used extreme cruelty to earn his own 100th victory. Leaving the arena, I looked at the dozens who'd followed me all along and casually pointed out a few with the highest cultivation. 5 soul kings, 3 soul emperors, 2 soul saints. You guys stay alive for me, because after I leave, I might just come back for you. You're my future crew, and once I get the Asura god's inheritance, this kind of strength will let me do all sorts of dirty work in the world. The 10 outlaws looked up in disbelief, their eyes full of ecstasy. Yes, young master. Just as I finished making arrangements and was getting ready to leave, a woman in black gauze appeared like a ghost right in front of me. She looked into my eyes, which after 2 years of killing, were still completely clear, untouched by the madness of slaughter. Deep in her gaze flashed a trace of extreme wariness. She took a deep breath, her voice even trembling a bit. Asura, Rakshasa, the king of slaughter wants to see you both. Where is he? I asked coldly. The woman's face turned instantly fervent, her voice soaring with excitement. He's right behind you. Bibidong and I whipped around and saw suspended in midair a tall figure in a black cloak, with blood-red eyes, descending like a god. The moment he appeared, All the fallen ones controlled by toxins dropped to their knees instantly, screaming like mad for the King of Slaughter. The King of Slaughter looked down at us from above, his voice low and cold. Asura, Rikshasa, are you willing to become my distinguished guests? If you agree, as guest elders, you won't need to take the Hell Road, and can enter and leave Slaughter City freely. It sounded like a huge favor, but I just sneered inside. That old bat, Tang Chun, is being possessed, afraid 2 gods of slaughter will appear at once and threaten his rule. No thanks, I still want to walk the Hell Road myself. I refused without hesitation. Me too, Bibi said firmly. The King of Slaughter's pale face under his hood instantly twisted with malice. Are you looking for death? In that case, you can keep each other company inside the Hell Road. The moment he finished speaking, an extraordinarily evil, bone-chilling red energy wave exploded from the King of Slaughter, sweeping across the entire Hell Arena. Next, a horrifying hellish scene unfolded. It looked like a living hell on earth. Every fallen one touched by the red energy seemed to go instantly mad, screaming in ecstasy, ripping at their own skin, tearing out their own organs, offering their blood in an extremely self-destructive sacrifice. Even the men I'd chosen as my future crew died horribly under this terrifying power. I glared daggers at the King of Slaughter, my fists cracking audibly. That old bastard is trying to intimidate me. As bloodlight filled the air, a massive blood-red bat totem appeared on the ground. A violent sense of weightlessness hit us, as Bibi and I were instantly swallowed whole by that bottomless abyss. No idea how long passed. When Bibi and I slowly came around from the dizzy spell, regaining clarity, we found ourselves lying on a circular platform only 5 meters in diameter. All around us was an endless chasm. Below, crimson plasma churned, radiating a suffocating heat. The first thing I did after waking up and ensuring our safety, I didn't look for a way out, but immediately sat cross-legged. Under Bibidong's stunned gaze, I took out from my storage. I took out a celestial herb from the ring, staring longingly into the distance. Although the past 2 years of killing haven't made me lose my mind, the accumulated mental stress is immense. Now is the perfect time to use this rare herb to cleanse my spirit and rebuild my mind. Half an hour later, I slowly opened my eyes. I felt refreshed and clear-headed. All the pent-up hostility from the past 2 years vanished. I stood up, looking at Bibi whose eyes were full of worry. I threw out an insanely bold idea. After we make it past the Hell Road, find a chance to come back with me and take out the King of Slaughter. What, are you crazy? Bibi was startled by what I said. That's at least a level 95 Super Daluo. I let out a cold laugh. It's not just me. I'll bring my father into this too. Once we obtain the Killing God domain, the rules here won't limit us. I have a reason I must kill him. Because I want to inherit the Shura God's legacy. Looking into my eyes, seeing undeniable ambition, Bibi bit her lip. She muttered quietly, "You're not even my man. Why should I risk my life with you?" I ignored her petty thoughts and looked toward the front of the platform. The only narrow stone bridge, half a foot wide. I'll take the lead. Stay close to me. Bibi volunteered confidently. Her martial spirit instantly possessed her. 7 sharp pig legs covered in green fur, firmly planted onto the narrow bridge. She reached back a pig leg to grab my leg. If we run into danger, remember to pull me up. I grabbed the warm pig leg with my hand. Bibi with her back to me. Her cheeks instantly turned red all the way to her neck. It was her first time having this kind of intimate contact with a man, even in a roundabout way. I wasn't thinking about any romance. The 2 of us, one in front and one behind, rushed quickly across the narrow bridge over the abyss. But just as we walked several hundred meters, suddenly a twist. A gigantic creature, a huge lizard covered in blood-red scales, silently crawled at the end of the narrow bridge, blocking our path. From the ancient times, blood-red lizard King Slaughter. No pointless words. I stomped hard on the pig leg. My whole body shot out like a cannonball. In midair, my golden dragon claw burst forth, bringing a thunderous force. I slammed it straight toward the Lizard King's head. The blood-red Lizard King opened its huge mouth and spewed out an extremely hot flame. Bibi Dong, positioned behind, quickly controlled her pig head, altering my trajectory in midair. So I dodged the flames. With a slash, my dragon claw dug deep into the Lizard King's back, ripping open several deep, bone-revealing wounds. The Lizard King went mad with pain. Its thick tail swept violently like an iron whip. Boom! I couldn't dodge, and had to cross my arms to block the blow. My whole body was smashed and sent flying backward. I barely landed back on the narrow bridge. The impact made the bridge shake wildly. That beast's strength is on par with a contra. We can't fight it head-on. Bibi Dong shouted loudly. She gripped 2 daggers inverted in her hands. 8 pig legs crawled rapidly underneath the bridge, forming an upside-down posture. With me above and her below, we pincered the Lizard King. With her distraction, I seized an opening, and my golden dragon claws attacked like a fierce storm, striking the Lizard King's neck, shattering its scales, and crunching its bones. Just about to kill it, a flash of extremely vicious humanity suddenly appeared in the blood-red Lizard King's eyes. With an intensely murderous glint, it suddenly abandoned defense, using both palms with terrifying momentum, and slammed them forcefully at our feet on the narrow bridge. Bang! Crack! With a thunderous crash, the already fragile bridge broke apart. Bad news. Bibi Dong, who had just slipped under the bridge, was instantly struck by massive falling rocks, and fell straight into the bottomless abyss below. At that critical moment, Yu Tianjun, I dove toward the edge of the cliff, grabbing her pig head tightly. Just then, the bridge leading to the exit began to collapse violently. Go quickly, the bridge is about to break. Bibi Dong hung upside down above the abyss, watching the bridge crumble, and cried out in despair. I gritted my teeth, my right arm bulged with veins. I exerted all my strength, and swung Bibi Dong up onto the platform. Then I grabbed her clothes, and, like a rampaging Tyrannosaurus, charged madly back to the circular platform we started from. We sprinted for half a minute, and just as our toes touched the platform, the entire narrow bridge collapsed completely behind us, turning to rubble, falling into the blood sea. Huff, huff, the 2 of us collapsed on the platform, panting heavily. I turned to look at Bibi Dong, and was suddenly stunned. In that extreme struggle, Bibi Dong's black outer garment was completely torn apart by my immense strength. Now her smooth, fair skin, and an expanse of springtime allure that would have been illegal, were fully exposed to the air without any cover. Bibi Dong's face instantly flushed bright red. She hurriedly covered her chest with both hands, and angrily shouted, "Idiot! I told you to go first. You didn't go! With your speed, you could have crossed. Why did you save me?" I shrugged, and looked at the completely cut-off exit around us, my tone still calm. Without you, I never would have been able to take down the Lizard King alone. Bibi Dong looked at my composed face, and her eyes suddenly turned red. She stopped struggling. Her pride and facade completely dropped, replaced by an extremely complex sigh. The road's broken, and neither of us can fly. Looks like we'll be stuck here forever. She suddenly raised her head. Her beautiful eyes locked onto me. Her voice trembled, but it carried a sense of resolve. "Yu Tianjun, I like you." I was startled and subconsciously joked, confessing as a last word. A surge of energy popped up on Bibi Dong's forehead. She wanted to bite someone. How can you say that at this time? Am I not good looking? Is my talent beneath yours? Then why? Not agree? I saw her desperate expression and smiled. I never said I disagreed. You agreed? Bibi Dong was stunned. Hearing my definite reply, Bibi Dong was overjoyed. But looking at the desperate situation still pouted, doesn't feel at all like dating. We're about to become doomed lovers. She hesitated a moment, then gently rested her head on my shoulder. listening to my strong and steady heartbeat. Her blush deepened, and her voice dropped to a whisper. Actually, I wanted to say, if we really can't get out, I don't want to have regrets. I'd regret it most if, right before dying. I haven't experienced what it's like to be a woman yet. I almost couldn't hold back my laughter after hearing that. It's not about squatting to pee. I was furiously ranting in my mind. But on the surface, I still reached out my big hand. Gently covered her beautiful hair. Stop overthinking. Not only are we not going to die, but if we do that here, we might get spied on by that perverted king of slaughter. Oh, I comforted her half-jokingly. Bibi Dong was startled by what I said. She instantly sobered up. So how do we get out of here? Leave it to me. I stood up, took a deep breath, fully unleashed the killing intent accumulated over these past 2 years. In that moment of clarity between life and death, Bibi Dong was also drawn in by me. The two of us resonated our auras. Boom! 2 terrifying killing intents intertwined. All around us, a snow-white halo appeared instantly. God of Slaughter domain awakened. With the God of Slaughter domain, the external suppression no longer worked on me at all. I looked at Bibi Dong. A fierce golden glint flashed in my eyes. Watch closely, this is what a true ultimate martial soul looks like. With a thought, the golden dragon bloodline in me began to boil wildly. Crackling under Bibi Dong's shocked gaze, behind me, a pair of wings over 3 meters long, formed from pure golden dragon scales and wild energy, spread out with an explosive force. What is this? So cool. Bibi Dong covered her mouth in awe. Golden dragon wings. I didn't explain much more. I instantly grabbed a disheveled Bibi Dong, pulled her into my arms, picked her up by the waist, hugged the old witch tightly. Let me take you into the air, swoosh. The golden dragon wings suddenly trembled. With Bibi Dong in my arms, I soared skyward, crossing the abyss directly. We became a golden meteor, shooting straight toward the upper path of Hell Road, where that white exit was. A wave of intense spatial distortion swept over us. As the blinding white light faded, what hit my nose first was the long mist scent of fresh earth and grass. We successfully escaped from the city of slaughter. Bibi Dong jumped out of my arms. Her gorgeous white legs inadvertently brushed against my palm. She looked at the wilderness around us and smiled brightly. We didn't appear in that tavern. Looks like the spirit hall won't find me anytime soon. I ruffled her hair and gently dropped a bombshell. Come on, let's go back to my sect first. Once you're settled in, I'll get someone to come back and take out the King of Slaughter. There's a god-level position there. I'm claiming it. Bibi Dong froze in place. Words like God so legendary, and he spoke of it so casually. But as she looked at me, she firmly took my hand. Her lips curled into a stunning smile. All right, then I'll help you become a god. When the time comes, don't forget to take me to see where the gods live. I laughed and tapped her delicate nose. Before that, you should come with me to meet my parents first. Ali, the proud spirit hall saint, instantly blushed. However, just as Bibi Dong and I were flirting here, about to head back to the sect, I had no idea. Inside the main hall of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, a totally absurd clown show was unfolding. An utterly ridiculous farce. Yu Xiaogang, who'd been missing for nearly 3 years, actually returned. And at his side were the future Shrek Dean Flender and a girl named Bai Shuxiu. Seeing his own son after 3 years, my father, Yu Yuanzheng, got so excited he sprang to his feet. But he never expected what was waiting for him was the deeply venomous sneer on Yu Xiaogang's lips. That incredibly poisonous sarcasm. Did you really treat me as your son? Then why didn't any of you come look for me these 3 years? The hall was dead silent. Then Yu Xiaogang lifted his chin, his eyes filled with blind and crazed confidence, pointed at the hall's dome, and shouted arrogantly, I'm back this time, to challenge Yu Tianjun. I've mastered the Tri-Unity Martial Soul Fusion skill. I can leap ranks and fight Soul Kings. Yu Tianjun's so-called ultimate martial soul is definitely no match for me. Yu Xiaogang is the true hope of this generation of the family. Give me at most 20 years. I'll definitely crush him underfoot. Flender, standing by, was so terrified his face turned green. Bro, you really want to challenge that monster? Bro, don't drag me into this. I just managed to make a living under him. And right as Yu Xiaogang was acting so arrogant and about to go on with his rant, at the exact moment my father's face turned murderous. A terrifying presence appeared outside the hall, with footsteps radiating a mountain of corpses and sea of blood aura, heavy killing intent, accompanied by an icy cold voice, slowly echoed in. Xiaogang, looks like that slap I gave you 2 years ago. You really didn't learn a thing. Yu Xiaogang's arrogance instantly froze on his face. Under the shocked gaze of everyone present, Yu Tianjun walked in, holding Spirit Hall St. Bibi Dong's hand, like a true Shura god of slaughter. Slowly entered the hall. Looks like that slap I gave you 2 years ago. You really didn't learn a thing. This voice, as if from the depths of hell, instantly caused the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, for everyone in the hall, to freeze in place. Under the shocked gaze of everyone, with my now 6'3" tall, upright figure, holding the delicate hand of Spirit Hall St. Bibi Dong, that soft, boneless jade hand, just like a Shura who walked out of a sea of corpses and blood, a true killer god, slowly stepped into the hall. Yu Xiaogang's arrogance instantly solidified the moment he saw me. His frail body couldn't help but retreat 2 steps. But then,
He gritted his teeth and forced himself to stop.
staring at me with a venomous gaze, he frantically brainwashed himself. I'm not who I used to be. This time I came back mastering the Tri-Unity Martial Soul Fusion skill, just to crush him under my feet. Why should I be afraid of him? However, I didn't even spare him a glance. I walked right past this clown, took Bibi Dong and headed straight for my father Yu Yuanzhen. Father, I'm back. Let me introduce someone to you. Here's the daughter-in-law I found for you. Bibi Dong, who was fuming just now over Yu Xiaogang's rant, and my father's face, so grim just moments ago, suddenly widened his eyes in shock. The proud Thunder Doluo at level 94 was suddenly so flustered he shot to his feet. Just like those unsuspecting fathers, suddenly seeing their son bring a beautiful girlfriend home. Those old dads. Bibi Dong's breathtaking face blushed, but still she was dignified and bowed graciously. Hello, Uncle Yu. Good, my father stammered ecstatically. He hurriedly turned to order my second uncle. Luo Ming, go make tea for Jiao Dong. Bring out my finest tea. And the best water? Second uncle, Yu Luo Mian was delighted. My nephew actually brought home such a pretty bride. He excitedly rushed off to brew tea. Watching our family so happy together, totally ignoring him, Yu Xiaogang's neck and face instantly turned red, with shame and humiliation.
He completely lost his sanity.
Yu Tianjun, I want to challenge you, he shouted hysterically. His piercing voice echoed throughout the hall. That utterly clueless shout instantly erased all warmth from my father's face. It vanished instantly. He was about to use his aura to teach this rebellious son a lesson, but I stopped him by pressing his shoulder. I turned with Bibi Dong and looked down at him from above. I heard about it. The Tri-Unity Martial Soul Fusion skill. Yes, an extremely rare god skill across the continent. Yu Xiaogang proudly lifted his head, as if he'd gotten his confidence back. Well, since you're 3 people, isn't it fair for Donger and me to go up together? I answered calmly, I refuse. Just as tensions were about to boil over, Flander, hiding in the back, suddenly shouted loudly at the top of his lungs, sweating profusely as he backed away. The sect has shown me kindness and opportunity. I absolutely refuse to fight. Are you kidding me? Flander knew exactly what was going on. 2 years ago, the Royal Heaven Army could beat 10,000-year soul beasts barehanded like dogs. To provoke him now, are you trying to get yourself killed? Yu Xiaogang was utterly shocked. Aren't we brothers? Seeing Flander absolutely refuse to make a move, Yu Xiaogang's stubbornness completely exploded. He even started cursing, saying you're nothing but a soul sect. Do you really think you look down on me? If it hadn't been for me, you wouldn't have what you have today. Such heartless and ungrateful words completely broke Flanders' heart. And my signal. He could only force a bitter smile and sigh, bracing himself as he stepped forward. The five of us arrived at the square outside the main hall. Sun and moon shining, golden transformation. As Flanders shouted loudly, three people instantly burst forth with dazzling golden light, forming a massive golden triangle. Luo Sanpao, that chubby, purple fat pig, was summoned. Appearing at the center of the triangle, in a flash, 10 soul rings turned into streams of light, simultaneously infused into Luo Sanpao's body. Luo Sanpao let out a painful dragon's roar toward the sky. Its body began to expand violently. Rhombus-shaped golden scales burst out of its skin. Solid muscles bulged high. A pair of massive dragon wings unfolded. In just a few breaths, that comical little Jurassic creature actually transformed into a 10-meter-long, majestic golden dragon. This is our martial soul fusion skill, Sacred Golden Dragon. Yu Xiaogang laughed maniacally at the sky. Years of inferiority vanished instantly. His face was filled with arrogant pride, ready to stomp me beneath his feet. However, looking at the Sacred Golden Dragon putting on airs in midair, the only thing in my eyes was deep disdain. It had the form, but not the soul. Dong, you go first. Dong understood immediately. Martial soul possession. Death Ju. The terrifying aura of the yellow top-tier martial soul exploded out. A giant Juhuang phantom appeared. Its size was not inferior to the Sacred Golden Dragon at all. Aura of death. Bibi Dong didn't bother with probing. The giant Juhuang lunged fiercely, biting tightly onto the Sacred Golden Dragon's neck. Its sharp, poisonous fangs instantly pierced the dragon scales, tearing through the flesh. Oh. The Sacred Golden Dragon let out an extremely miserable, agonized cry. Struggling madly, just as Bibi Dong was about to unleash another skill, I raised my hand to stop her. Leave the next part to me. Seeing this, Yu Xiaogang was overjoyed. He thought Bibi Dong had exhausted her soul power. Ha! Even if the Sacred Golden Dragon isn't at full strength, it's more than enough to deal with you. Yu Xiaogang laughed triumphantly, directing the dragon to charge at me. I looked at this deranged fool and shook my head helplessly. I hadn't even activated my martial soul, just stood there with my hands behind my back. The terrifying dragon might that belonged solely to the Golden Dragon King erupted like 10,000 mountains crashing down. So you say you're a dragon? I looked down from above at the phantom in midair. My voice wasn't loud, but carried the endless majesty of a primordial tyrant, just a fake Sacred Golden Dragon, daring to challenge the ancestor of power. With my cold shout, behind me, a colossal 100-meter-long golden dragon suddenly appeared. Its shadowy dark gold eyes were full of scorn for all beneath heaven. Just a glance, the Sacred Golden Dragon, which had just been raging, instantly halted its charge. Terror filled its eyes, and it actually fell from the air, cowering on the ground, trembling. Stand up, get up now. Yu Xiaogang screamed in disbelief. I let out a cold laugh, with a heavenly aura in my mouth. Where did you get the courage to challenge the Dragon King? As if my words were an unquestionable imperial decree, the moment my voice fell, that 10-meter-long, Sacred Golden Dragon rapidly deflated and shrank. Within just a few breaths, it reverted back to that short, fat purple pig. How is this possible? Where's my Sacred Golden Dragon? How is this possible? Yu Xiaogang collapsed to his knees, his eyes empty. Years of painstaking effort, his proud trump card, turned out to not even qualify to make a move in front of me, and submitted like a dog. I never spared him another glance. And beside him, Flander, seeing the reality clearly, sighed. Leaving behind, I'm off to pursue my dreams. He spread his wings and flew away, without even looking back. After resolving this minor incident, I brought Bibi Dong back to the main hall, and dismissed everyone. Father, I took a deep breath, and revealed the cards I've kept for the past 2 years. Before leaving the City of Slaughter, I took a celestial elixir, Wanchuan Kai Shui. I've already broken through level 60, once I obtained my 6th soul ring. Murderous intent flooded my eyes. My voice was deep yet thunderous. I hope Father can invite Sword Dao Luo Chengxing to join me, to assault the City of Slaughter, and slay the King of Slaughter, and slay the King of Slaughter. Father shot to his feet in shock. That place has 2 titled Daluo. Daluo can't use soul skills there. I can barely deal with one. The other, no one can handle. Tianjun, why must you kill him? I looked directly into father's shocked eyes and spoke each word clearly, revealing the secret that could drive the entire continent insane. Because if I kill him, I can obtain the inheritance of the god of Shura. As soon as the word God came out of my mouth, the entire hall fell into a deathly silence. Father, Yu Yuan Town and Bibi Dong were both stunned. Even their breathing stopped completely. Is this really true? Father trembled with excitement. Even his beard was shaking. Absolutely true. I answered confidently with a cold laugh. If I slay the King of Slaughter, I'll have a chance to obtain the divine seat. By then, this world, who could stand in my way? Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Sect is good. Father's eyes reddened. He smashed the purple sandalwood table beside him to pieces with a single slap. What Qian Shunji? What danger from Spirit Hall? Compared to a divine seat, nothing else matters. He made a snap decision. Killing intent surged all over him. Let your second brother take you to hunt souls. I'm going to the 7 treasure glazed tile sect right now. Even if it costs everything, I'll bring Sword Daluo Changsing here for you. Days later, with second uncle as my guardian, I relied on a body comparable to title Daluo and forced a level up, absorbing a 60,000-year-old dragon-type soul beast. I gained an incredibly overpowered domain-type 6th soul skill, and father successfully brought back Sword Daluo Chunxing, renowned for having the strongest offensive power in the world. The 5-man max-level god-slaying squad is officially assembled. Level 94 Thunder Daluo Yu Yuanzan. Level 93 Sword Daluo Chunxing. Second uncle Yu Luomi, who just broke through to Daluo. Martial Emperor Wu with cheats and the senses of the Spirit Hall. Bibi Dong, on a dark and windy night. The 5 of us directly flew over. Above the crimson dome of the Hell Slaughter Arena. In a moment, I'll break through the upper layer. Everyone, be careful. Chanshen spoke coldly. The 7-kill sword spirit quietly appeared. A fierce sword aura sliced the surrounding air with crackling sounds. My body trembled. The red and white killing god domain erupted violently. I became like a true Shura god of slaughter. Boom! Changxing slashed terrifying sword light. Directly shattered the hard dome of Slaughter City. Into pieces? The 5 of us stepped on flying debris everywhere and landed right at the center of the Hell Slaughter Arena. That's a titled Daluo. Why can he use abilities here? The duelists fighting life or death battles screamed in terror. The scene instantly went out of control. Chanshen didn't bother talking. He swept the 7-kill sword, the terrifying sword aura, instantly sliced dozens of desperados in half. Blood flowed like a river. Shura and Rikshasa, you've already left Slaughter City. Why bring others to attack me? Accompanied by a furious roar. Wearing a wide black robe, the King of Slaughter, emanating an extreme evil aura, rushed out from the darkness with another titled Daluo. Old dog, dead man. No need to know why. I grabbed in the air with my right hand. A buzz. A dazzling golden light fiercely gathered in my palm, accompanied by an earth-shattering dragon roar. The super artifact golden dragon spear suddenly appeared in my hand. Father Yu Yuanzhen let out a wild laugh. Blue lightning tyrant dragon's 9 rings ignited together, bringing a violent thunder force. Directly suppressed the King of Slaughter. Meanwhile, Changxing and second uncle teamed up to attack the other titled Daluo. As for me, watching them flood in like a tide. Thousands of enforcer teams and duelists. Golden dragon wings behind me suddenly spread out. Holding the golden dragon spear, I plunged straight into the enemy ranks. Bang, bang, bang. For the duelists unable to use spirit abilities, my ultimate strength, I was basically a ruthless meat grinder, sweeping the golden dragon spear over those desperados. They were directly blown apart, turning into clouds of blood mist everywhere. Even more terrifying, the golden dragon spear dominantly absorbed their life energy, continuously fed back into my body. I got braver the longer I fought. Golden dragon scales all over my body were stained with a sinister blood-red hue, looking like a demon god crawling out of hell, harvesting one evil life after another. Thousands of duelists. Under the golden dragon spear's powerful blood absorption and my monstrous strength, were quickly slaughtered completely. I stood in a sea of blood on Lion Hill, looking at the top-level battlefield above. Those three who could use spirit abilities, Daluo level enforcer captains, were attempting to sneak attack me from the flanks. A ferocious cold smile curled at my lips. First spirit ability, Golden Dragon Body, all stats suddenly surge. 100% instant Dragon Fang Strike. With the sonic boom of space tearing, I instantly teleported behind the three. One sweep of the spear took down two soul saints, decapitated them on the spot. That Daluo also sprayed blood crazily. Seriously wounded, fell to the ground. But that's not enough. Looking at Mitter, the king of slaughter still fighting my father. Without hesitation, I activated my 60,000 year 6th spirit ability. Immortal Golden Prison. Brilliant golden domain aura instantly covered the field, forcefully weakened the enemy's stats by 10%, stacking with the killing god domain effect. That's a frightening 40% drop. Feeling the terrifying dragon pressure and domain suppression, the king of slaughter's movements suddenly faltered. His once powerful attacks instantly turned much weaker. Father immediately seized the opening. 6th spirit ability, Thunder Wrath. An enraged Thunder Dragon Claw smashed down hard. Directly made the level 95 King of Slaughter cough up blood. Smashed him heavily to the ground. My body was like a sword. Meanwhile, Chanxing roared loudly. His entire body transformed into a peerless giant sword. Instantly sliced the titled Daluo in half. After that was done, Chanxing didn't stop. He let out a long cry, with an aura of sharpness everywhere, charging straight at the fallen king of slaughter. Under our joint siege, level 95 Super Daluo, the king of slaughter who ruled Slaughter City for centuries, finally let out a desperate scream. Decapitated, the king of slaughter fell, body in pieces everywhere, pile of corpses and sea of blood. Chanshen took his reward and left gracefully. My father and I, Bibi Dong, entered deep into the king of slaughter's palace. While I stared at a corner of the great hall, a red light filled with ultimate killing intent shot out like lightning, directly pierced into the center of my forehead. My vision went black, and I collapsed into Bibi Dong's arms. Meanwhile, in the distant divine realm, inside the blood-red Shura temple, Shura god coldly eyed the stunning woman beside him. Rakshasa, after so many years, you still want to interfere with my chosen heir? Rakshasa smiled sweetly. Lord Shura god, the secret of your god position being tainted by my evil thoughts. I could live off that for a lifetime. Shura god took a deep breath. This time is different. You saw this kid's talent too. This is a monster with the Golden Dragon King's bloodline. Rakshasa god's eyes spun, pointed down to the lower world. Holding me, Bibi Dong. That girl has good talent too. Very suitable to inherit my god position. How about we each pick one? The condition is your god trial. Must include help from my heir. Shura god heard, felt inwardly delighted. Secretly cursed that silly girl finally got tricked. That kid and girl were already a pair. All in all, my Shura god's heir really gets the best deal. Feeling great, Shura god stared down below, suddenly opened his eyes wide. In terror, swore out loud. Damn, how is the golden dragon spear in that kid's hand? Inside my spiritual world, in the sky, a super artifact floated, emitting endless pressure. The Shura Devil Sword. Congratulations, successor. You've earned my approval. First Shura God Trial. Breakthrough level 70 in 1 year. The 7th spirit ring must be at least 100,000 years old. Reward. All spirit ring ages increased by 5,000 years. I gritted my teeth against the God King's pressure. Ecstatic inside. All spirit rings boosted by 5,000 years. This is basically a godly newbie gift pack. I'm willing. I let out a roaring shout in the spiritual world. With this cheat level reward, forget 100,000-year spirit rings. Even if it's a god, I can slay it for you. While I was resting in Bibi Dong's embrace, comfortably receiving the God King's legacy, at the village entrance outside Slaughter City, a man in a ragged cloak with a scruffy beard held a massive black iron hammer, standing confidently and arrogantly in the wilderness. After years of hardship and training, Tong Hao, one of the invincible twin stars of Hao Tian, he looked at the eerie village ahead, with a wildly arrogant cold smile at the corner of his mouth, swearing secretly in his heart. As long as I make it through Slaughter City and get the Killing God domain, the Yutian army will never be my match again. Slaughter City. Here I come, Tang Hao. Yutian army, you're just not ruthless enough. If you're too scared to even enter Slaughter City, you'll be under my heel for life. This place he regarded as the ultimate trial, scalding the skin all over his body until it split open. The Slaughter City he prepared to use for his comeback, the entire Hell Slaughter arena, and even the life energy within their souls, have lost much energy keeping the balance of ice and fire in this world. When this once arrogant clear sky twin star truly stepped into the outer city of Slaughter City, the arrogance on his face instantly froze. The empty streets were so deathly silent it was hair-raising. No screams, no fighting, only the extremely thick scent of blood remaining in the air. Strange, why isn't there a single soul? With a heart full of doubt and a faint sense of unease, please, save him. I took newly level 60 Bibi Dong. I saw the grief in the tears at the corners of her eyes. Made this peerless genius of the Clear Sky sect feel his scalp go numb instantly. Although these two divine bones, just a few hours ago, dead people, all dead, was actually, and quite neatly, that this was the work of the man he mocked. Every single corpse had been instantly blasted by some extremely overbearing power. By the man he called not ruthless enough, Yu Tianjun. All the blood. A pair of crimson vertical pupils stared fixedly at him from the darkness. Mountains of corpses and seas of blood, to the main hall of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon sect. Who did this? Tang Hao gasped, utterly terrified. He faintly detected in the air a residual terrifying aura of lightning, and a sword intent that tore through space, piled with thousands of mutilated mummified corpses. But he simply couldn't believe the not ruthless enough Yu Tianjun. Damn it, no matter who it is, don't even think about stealing my death god domain. Yu Tianjun, I will definitely trample you under my feet. Tong Hao's eyes were bloodshot, but their potential is truly divine class, and leaped down without hesitation. But when he landed heavily on the circular platform at the start of Hell Road, they self-sealed to the 100,000-year level. Tong Hao was forced into a steady retreat, because I had previously gone on a killing spree in the arena, draining the energy from the blood pool to complete the Golden Dragon King bloodline, had already, like triumphant gods, had its massive slaughter energy long since exhausted. But ultimately, it did not fall off the stone, was only boiling lava emitting terrifyingly high temperatures. In order to survive, instantly golden light burst from my whole body. Said to only be picked by extremely pure love. A blood-curdling scream like a slaughtered pig. Where's the road? Why is the road broken? Then, how do I get out? Tang Hao roared in despair. Had been drained completely dry. Just then, the energy loss is severe. But who refused to die due to the stubborn prehistoric vitality was not yet fully dead. Rushing over to check, golden dragon wings suddenly spread wide. A mere beast dares to block me? Die! The enraged Tang Hao swung the clear sky hammer, engaging in a frenzied battle with the blood-red lizard king, that the true despair had only just begun. But in this dead-end abyss with no road and no way to fly, what made Tang Hao's eyes nearly burst with rage was achieving soul sect at such a young age. He was forced to use the clear sky sects, Ultimate self-sacrificing divine technique. The terrifying Great Sumeru Hammer Ring explosion. He finally finished off the heavily injured blood-red Lizard King. But Tang Hao, because of this, exhausted the last shred of soul power and physical strength in his body. In extreme terror as he lost his balance, I roughly shoved the octagonal ice grass and fell straight into the boiling lava below, leaving not even a single stone to step on. The blood pool, echoed despairingly in the abyss. That terrifying high temperature of the lava. This place he regarded as the ultimate trial, but also be reduced to a plucked, scalded, emitting a nauseating smell of charred flesh. Each came holding. Tang Hao used his last breath, using overwhelming force. The 100,000-year blue-silver emperor right leg, relying on its wildfire, cannot destroy it. The lovesick heartbreak red gently swayed. I can take head on. While he was being cooked alive in the lava, he was simultaneously being repaired. Enduring pain like 1,000 cuts, he forcibly kept his miserable life. After struggling miserably in the lava for an unknown amount of time, Tang Hao, scalded beyond recognition, finally crawled out of the exit along the stone wall, gasping for breath. But when he saw the light of day again, at the moment he greedily breathed in the fresh air, he completely broke down. Because the slaughter energy of Hell Road had long been drained by me, under a nearby tree, instantly restores all attributes 100%. With utmost tenderness, no death god domain, a meeting gift from me as a father to my daughter-in-law. He had even turned into an ugly bald man without a single hair, his body covered in horrific burn scars. Yu Tianjun. Tang Hao crawled on the muddy ground of the wilderness, his fingers digging deep into the soil. From his throat came a raspy, unpleasant whimper like a broken bellows. This once arrogant genius of the Clear Sky sect thought this would be his ultimate comeback, but never expected, instantly burned away Tang Hao's hair and eyebrows, that he would not only miss out completely, an empty-handed ultimate clown. While Tang Hao was wallowing in powerless rage, and a fate worse than death in the mud, the blood pool in the abyss below at this time, Bibi Dong and I, it was like a true purgatory on earth. Returned grandly, to get something that belongs to me. That not only had I obtained the Asura god's trial inheritance, but even Bibi Dong had obtained the inheritance of a first-class god, the Rikshasa god, his old face wrinkled with laughter, his hands trembling with excitement. I immediately caught. Both my son and daughter-in-law can become gods. Who in this Daluo continent will dare provoke us now? The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Sect. My father waved his hand generously, looking at me, with eyes full of pride. Tianjun, at the Ice and Fire Eyes, there are still several top-grade immortal herbs. His vocal cords completely destroyed by the high temperature. Bibi Dong's complexion instantly became frail. I said my thanks, spread my brilliant golden dragon wings, and picked up the slightly blushing Bibi Dong by her waist. Under the reverent gaze of the entire sect, we flew at high speed toward the sunset forest. Arriving at the Ice and Fire Eyes, looking at the ground covered with my whole body, would you be willing to see the whole world with me? Only then did she realize how terrifying the foundation of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Sect truly was. While Bibi Dong was looking around, no wonder he's suffering severe toxin backlash. The flower grew upon a pitch-black stone, its petals extremely beautiful. The initial hostility when we first met, instantly drawing in Bibi Dong's entire mind. As if possessing some kind of magic, slowly appeared. I've already gone easy on you. The 2 years of life and death dependence in Slaughter City, and then above the abyss where the Hell Road was about to break. That sentence she said with a blushing face. Bibi Dong marveled repeatedly. If you can make it out alive, all the past events. Skill number 2, Ice Dragon Soul. Suddenly, without warning, Bibi Dong's face turned pale. Overcome with emotion, she spat out a mouthful of blood. The spring breeze brings life back. What remained? He realized. The blood landed perfectly on the flower's petals. It had long since collapsed during my fight with the blood-red Lizard King. Take showdown there to collect them. Consider it. staring at this legendary flower. Her eyes were filled with deep disappointment, self-blame, and unwillingness. She even started doubting if she was worthy of such affection. Hearing the commotion, I rushed over. I pulled her, trembling, into my arms. Even a super Deluo, the horrific sight before him. Silly, it's not your fault. He actually gained nothing. I gently lowered my head. I kissed her smooth, fair forehead. As a divine herb above immortals, break through the level 60 barrier. We've only known each other for a few years. The future is still long. We can take our time with our feelings. This sudden gentleness and first kiss made Bibi Dong's stunning face blush instantly. All her sadness vanished. The heart-to-heart talk in the Spirit City Pavilion. Like a ripe apple, she playfully said, "Sneaky. Otherwise, I might not have kissed just your forehead." Rare immortal herbs emitting extremely dense spiritual energy. I chuckled and rubbed her head. It's not so easy to pick. Stay here and absorb the herbs first. When my father learned, I'm heading down for a bit. After settling Bibi Dong, I walked straight to the ice fire spring. Tong Hao let out a shrill scream. Without any hesitation, and the soul power in me, these two extremely hot and cold immortal herbs, and began absorbing madly. Boom! The extreme ice and fire power. I turned and settled her to the side. Instantly clashed wildly inside me. Half turned icy blue, radiating biting cold, and the other half was fiery red like a cooked shrimp. I walked over to De Guyao and glanced at him. Even a titled Deluo, they would have exploded and died right now. But I endured the terrifying clash of medicinal power. My golden dragon physique suddenly activated. I leaped forward. After this ice-fire body refinement, the narrow bridge leading to the exit ahead was broken. Ah! I sank to the bottom. The dazzling gold dragon king remnant soul emerged from me. It released a supreme dragon roar that shook the soul, as if drawn by the absolute power of higher bloodlines, and suppressed at the depth of the spring, one red and one blue. It was the divine grade among immortals, the yearning heartbroken red. Two enormous, ethereal Dragon King remnant souls. They soared around my gold Dragon King remnant soul, as if meeting their supreme ruler. They emanated excitement and submission. Who knows how long I closed off at the spring bottom. When I awakened from the extreme ice and fire refinement, at the moment of life and death, those two ice and fire dragon kings, a piece imbued with terrifying divine power, and reverently offered them to my hands. These are the divine soul bones of the ice and fire dragon kings. Looking at these red and blue, two crystal clear arm bones in my hands, as a chill rushed from the solace of his feet to the top of his head. Had been slaughtered, boss and all, until not even a dog remained. The blood-red lizard king whose skull I had crushed earlier. I was stunned. Is it because I don't love him enough? Gritting his teeth, he found the entrance to the hell road, and to avoid overwhelming me, overwhelmed with joy, into my mouth at once. Skill number 2, Rebirth by Fire. As the two 100,000-year Dragon King soul bones entered my body, and fiery apricot gel book, I gained an ice-fire refined body immune to all poisons, erupted like a volcano, beginning an explosive surge. The barriers between levels 61 and 62 were forcibly sealed, directly skyrocketing to level 65. Boom! The spring water burst open. It vented all its rage on Tang Hao, this scapegoat. I broke through the water's surface. I hovered above the ice-fire yin-yang spring. Feeling the wild, overwhelming power in me, I let out a comfortable roar to the sky. Consuming it can extend his life by a year, but also granted me 4 insanely overpowered divine skills. Ice Dragon King left arm skill number 1, Ice Dragon Breath. Unleashes Dragon King level absolute 0 to freeze everything. Skill number 2, Ice Dragon Soul summons the 100,000-year Ice Dragon King soul. Freed, Dagubio became frantic. I sat cross-legged at the bottom of the spring, and even exploding his soul rings to break out, enhances all berserk attributes of the 100,000-year Fire Dragon King. It's basically an extra life. Overpowered, this is simply dimensional crushing. I clenched my fists, feeling power enough to split heaven and earth. With these 4 divine skills, let alone same level opponents, insane recovery ability, even a super Deluo, just as I was about to bring Bibi back to the sect, and strong scent of blood. Just after flying out of the ice-fire yin-yang spring, I immediately caught an extremely pungent smell of blood and poison in the air. Down in the dense forest, there were sounds of intense fighting. I squinted slightly. Seemed someone ignorantly trespassed onto my territory. Boom! I broke through the water's surface. Golden dragon wings suddenly spread wide. I hovered above the ice-fire yin-yang spring, diving into the intersection of the cold extreme yin spring and the heated yang spring. Feeling the terrifying power raging inside me, I not only broke through to level 65, but got 4 divine level skills. Ice Dragon King left arm skill number 1, Ice Dragon Breath, flashed through Bibi mind like a revolving lantern. Unleashes Dragon King level absolute 0 to freeze everything. Summons the 100,000-year Ice Dragon King soul for battle support. Fire Dragon King right arm skill number 1, Fire Dragon Possession. There were sounds of intense fighting. Skill number 2, Rebirth by Fire. Instantly restores all attributes 100%. It's basically an extra life. Overpowered, this is simply dimensional crushing. I took a deep breath. With these 4 divine skills, looking at the love-sick heartbreak red, I immediately understood. Let alone same level opponents. But when he reached the edge of the Hell Slaughter arena, I can take head-on. And flew out side by side from the ice-fire yin-yang spring poison formation. Good, very good. But just after getting out, to collect the next soul bone, an extremely pungent poisonous smell enhances all berserk attributes of the 100,000-year Fire Dragon King, carrying a heart full of frustration, anger, and humiliation. Down in the dense forest, to activate the A Yin bone in his body, I saw Elder Yuluo in charge of guarding the sect, to pin a green-haired Soul Emperor whose martial soul is a jade serpent beneath his foot. After risking half his life, relentlessly attacking, lay a young man with darkened face. Immediately stopped Uncle Luo, barely holding on to life. Dugubuo, I raised an eyebrow. Senior, I came seeking medicine after smelling its scent. I really harbor no ill intentions. Tong Hao rushed into the inner arena. Supports Fire Dragon King right arm skill number 1, Fire Dragon Possession. My son is dying. A dignified Soul Emperor actually knelt in utter humiliation, desperately kowtowing. As long as you save my son, Dogu Yao, I'm willing to give anything. If it were anyone else, his talent isn't bad. His life hanging by a thread. A mysterious little flower caught her eye. I casually took and tossed a rare detox herb from my storage ring. This absorption not only skyrocketed my cultivation. Dogubio was ecstatic, as if he'd found a treasure. He quickly chewed up the herbs and fed them to his son. Watching his son's blackened complexion gradually improve, and his breathing stabilize, this future poison Deluo was so moved that he wept tears of joy. He kowtowed to me once again. Such immense kindness and favor will never be forgotten. No need to thank me so soon. A year from now, the poison will relapse. Even a god won't be able to save him. I looked down at him from above, like a deity pronouncing judgment. But I can remove the hereditary poison from both you and your son. My condition is you join my Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan, and never betray us. Do you accept? If it'll save my son, I'd go through hell and high water. I, Dogubio, will never hesitate. Dogubio didn't hesitate at all. He kowtowed with such force it thundered through the room. Faced with life and the survival of his son, what is freedom or dignity? They are not worth mentioning. He chose to submit without any hesitation. Looking at this man, a poisoned Deluo especially good at group battles, now totally devoted and tied to my chariot, I nodded with satisfaction. I led them back to the clan. On the way back, I taught Dogubio the method to drive the toxin into the soul bone for detoxification. I passed this on to Dugubio. After hearing it, Dugubio was utterly enlightened. His respect for me soared to divine levels. His loyalty was absolute. Upon returning to the clan, when my father learned I had reached level 65, he paced excitedly back and forth in the grand hall. Taking a deep breath, he led me alone into a highly secretive underground chamber. In the center of the chamber, on a stone platform, sat an ancient jade box. Tianjun, this was left by your grandfather, and it's one of the few mementos I have left. Father reached out with a slightly trembling hand and slowly opened the jade box. Was a surge of intense blue-violet thunder light instantly lit up the entire secret chamber. You could even hear crackling thunder and lightning in the air. Inside lay a left leg radiating a terrifying pressure, resting there quietly. A 100,000-year thunder tyrant dragon. Left leg, my breath caught in my throat. That's right, my father smiled bitterly, a hint of relief in his eyes. No father wants to appear weak before his son. Back when your grandfather passed away, I had just taken over the clan and hadn't reached my peak yet. I was afraid this 100,000-year soul bone would attract the jealousy of organizations like Spirit Hall and bring disaster upon the clan. So we kept it a secret and didn't announce his death. Father solemnly handed me the soul bone, his eyes filled with hope and anxiety. But now you are worthy of possessing it. Absorb it right here. I'll protect you. I didn't hesitate at all. I immediately sat down cross-legged. With my Golden Dragon King bloodline's absolute suppression, this wild 100,000-year thunder attribute soul bone actually fused into my left leg with complete obedience. Torrential energy exploded throughout my body instantly. Level 66, level 68, boom. Level 70. My eyes snapped open. In my dark gold dragon eyes, two piercing beams of divine light burst forth. An 18-year-old level 70 quasi-soul Sei was born. This soul bone also granted me the Thunder Shield and Thunder Tyrant Dragon, two absolutely overpowered divine skills. To test my current ultimate fighting power, Father let out a hearty laugh and headed off to Thunder Canyon. He wanted to fight me himself, challenging me to a peak father-son battle. Inside Thunder Canyon, fierce Waynes howled. Tianjun, let loose. Come on, show me your current strength. Let's see just how strong you've become. Father shouted loudly. His blue lightning tyrant dragon martial soul instantly possessed his body. The terrifying aura of a level 94 title Doluo swept across the entire canyon. Even the clouds above were torn apart by thunder and lightning. Forgive me, Dad. With a wild smile curling up at the corner of my lips, my level 70 soul power erupted. My first soul skill, Golden Dragon Physique, every attribute surged by 100% instantly. I didn't use my martial soul avatar. I stomped hard on the ground. Boom, the solid rocky ground instantly shattered into a massive pit over 10 meters deep. My whole body became a golden flash of lightning, bringing my pure, supreme physical strength with a strange twist. As I punched directly at my father's chest, the moment fist met palm, an explosive energy storm ripped up hundreds of towering ancient trees nearby, uprooting them all and shredding them to splinters. Even my father's terrifying strength was shaken back several steps by my blow. A look of disbelief and shock filled his eyes. Good boy, your physical strength is almost on par with a level 95 Super Deluo. But I didn't stop. The battle spirit in my eyes was utterly ignited. My left leg rose slowly, and wild blue-violet lightning burst out instantly. Its power was not the slightest bit weaker than my father, who had spent decades cultivating the power of thunder. 100,000-year Thunder Tyrant Dragon left leg bone. Second soul skill Thunder Dragon Tail. I let out a wild laugh at the sky. A terrifying Thunder Dragon Tail, dozens of meters long, formed on my left leg, radiating a destructive and awe-inspiring presence. Though it consumed a lot of spirit power, I forcefully calmed my chaotic mind and swung my left leg like an apocalyptic whip, lashes fiercely toward my father. Boom, a Thunder Dragon Tail dozens of meters long, brimming with world-ending power, like divine punishment itself, smashed down on my father without mercy. Faced with this unbelievably familiar and terrifying move, my father didn't dodge at all, but instead showed a look of deep satisfaction and pride. For a second, my father seemed to return to years ago, to what Grandpa told him on his deathbed. Yuanxian, you've surpassed me. Now it's your turn to support this family. And today, watching me, a devil god incarnate, before him.
He knew he could finally rest assured.
And pass the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan's future to his successor. In a rush of excitement, and stimulated by the aura of the 100,000-year soul bone, Father's spirit pressure for a moment actually surged violently again. At this most crucial moment, he actually broke through to level 95 Super Daoluo. 8th Soul Skill Thunder Dragon Heaven's Wrath. Father howled toward the sky. A colossal heavenly thunder tribulation, hundreds of meters long, with world-destroying might, came crashing down from the 9 heavens boom. 100-meter thunder tribulation, and the dozens meter thunder dragon tail collided violently in midair. In that instant, heaven and earth lost their color, the sun and moon paled. A terrifying thunder energy storm spread out from us as the center, raging wildly outward. The entire Thunder Canyon shook violently, and more than half collapsed under the impact. When the blinding thunder and dust faded, I knelt on one knee, gasping for breath, while my father, now past level 95, stood a short distance away, looking at me and laughing wildly at the sky. What a true Asura god successor. Good son, though only I truly knew in my heart. At the very last moment of our clash, I secretly held back 30% of my power. After all, what 18-year-old son would really knock his old man flat? I must show my father the utmost respect. After the loud laughter ended, my father walked over to my side, patted my shoulder heavily, and said, "I will take you to the core circle of the Sunset Forest. The ancient records of our sect mention that hidden there is a 100,000-year-old dragon-type soul beast." Golden light flashed intensely in my father's eyes. "We will use it as your 7th soul ring. 18 years old and level 70, wielding the 3 great 100,000-year divine drums. I should be invincible against a level 95 Super Daoluo. Yu Xiaogang Tanghao, and the Spirit Hall, your doomsday is approaching." My father and I wasted no time. 2 extremely powerful figures streaked across the sky like meteors, heading straight for the core circle of the Sunset Forest. The Sunset Forest, though not as vast and boundless as the Stardow Great Forest, still contains many terrifying beasts, lurking within its core circle. As soon as we went deep, we keenly avoided several fierce soul beasts of the 70 to 80,000 year level. Fortunately, back when my father hunted for his 9th soul ring, he had searched here diligently for a year. Regarding the habits of that mysterious dragon soul beast, it could be said he knew them like the back of his hand. Soon, in an extremely hidden valley, we found an incredibly exaggerated trail. It was a path dozens of meters wide, looking as if a giant bulldozer had plowed a terrifying trench through the earth. Even the towering trees that took several men to encircle were crushed into wood chips by this immense force. There was also a very dense, lingering aura of the earth element, likely left behind quite recently. My father crouched down, touched the markings on the ground, and his expression immediately became excited. This beast likely stays dormant deep underground year-round. It only comes to the surface for specific needs. We will wait here for it. If it doesn't appear within a month, I will spend everything I have and go to the Stardow Great Forest to get you the soul ring of the Azure Sky Bull Python. For the sake of my 7th soul ring, my father, the dignified sect leader, was going all out. We concealed our entire presence, with Elder Yu Luokong providing supplies from the periphery, and began our long stack-out. Day after day passed, until late one night, near the end of the 1-month period, my ears suddenly twitched while I was resting with eyes closed. I stood up abruptly. It wasn't just me. The incredibly arrogant Golden Dragon King bloodline in my body actually began to boil and circulate uncontrollably on its own. This was an instinctive reaction triggered in a high-ranking bloodline, when encountering a powerful opponent of a similar level. There's movement. My father was also startled by me, becoming instantly alert. Deep underground, something was approaching the surface at an extremely high speed. I stared intently at the empty ground ahead, and in my dark gold dragon eyes, a fanatical fighting spirit erupted. The moment we took our combat stances, the solid earth ahead actually rippled like water, swaying strangely. There was no violent explosion. It was just like a fish swimming out of the water, eerily quiet. Then, a hideous and terrifying head, covered in heavy, earthy yellow rock scales, the head of a giant flood dragon, abruptly emerged from the ground. When its body, hundreds of meters long, resembling a winding mountain range, was fully revealed, a suffocating pressure of a 100,000-year beast swept through the entire sunset forest like a tsunami. This is the Earth Source Sand Dragon. After seeing the full appearance of this beast, my father gasped in shock. "Father, what is the origin of this Earth Source Sand Dragon?" I asked while summoning the golden dragon spear. This is from the secret scrolls left by the sect's ancestors, an ancient exotic species recorded by the sect. Its affinity with the earth has reached a terrifyingly abnormal level. A casual strike has the power to shake the mountains. Even more terrifying, the defensive power of its dragon body is simply breathtaking. My father took a deep breath, and a piercing golden light erupted from his eyes. Such a top-tier dragon-type soul beast is practically tailor-made for you. Seventh soul ring, kill. Without any further words, my father fully displayed the peerless style of a level 95 Super Daluo. Seventh soul skill, martial soul true body. A massive blue lightning tyrant dragon soared into the sky, carrying violent lightning across the heavens, and smashed directly into the front of the Earth Source Sand Dragon. Faced with the provocation of another dragon, the newly awakened Earth Source Sand Dragon instantly roared in rage. It let out a world-shaking dragon roar, exploding with terrifying earth element soul power, instantly whipping up a super sandstorm that blotted out the sun, uprooting hundreds of surrounding trees. While my father was at the front, firmly pinning down the Earth Source Sand Dragon's attention. Instant flash dragon fang. My figure instantly vanished from the spot. Relying on an insane spatial jump, I appeared directly beside the 100-meter-long dragon, in the visual blind spot of its midsection.
Take this.
Gripping the golden dragon spear, a divine tool with both hands, the terrifying physical strength in my body, comparable to a super Daluo, erupted with monstrous force. Dragon King God-breaking spear. The radiant golden spear turned into a beam of golden light that pierced through the heavens, carrying my overbearing monstrous strength, and slammed hard into the Earth Source Sand Dragon. Those rock dragon scales claimed to be indestructible. Push asterisk, there was no suspense. Before the sharpness of a divine tool, even 100,000-year-old dragon scales were like paper. The golden dragon spear pierced directly through its flesh, and on its massive dragon body, a bloody hole was forcibly gouged out. The intense pain drove the Earth Source Sand Dragon into a complete frenzy. It suddenly swung its mountain-like body, and its thick dragon tail, carrying a sonic boom that tore the air, smashed toward me with reckless abandon. Good. Let's see whose tail is harder. There was no fear in my eyes. I suddenly lifted my left leg. 100,000-year Thunder Tyrant Dragon. Left leg bone, Thunderstorm Dragon Tail. 100-meter-long lightning dragon tail condensed instantly, carrying the world-destroying wrath of thunder. Like a whip of lightning, it collided violently with the Earth Source Sand Dragon's tail in midair. Boom, the entire sunset forest, under this terrifying collision, shook violently. The Earth Source Sand Dragon pushed through my Thunder Dragon tail and rushed close. As for me, I calmly activated the first skill of my soulbone, Thunder Barrier. Lightning with an extreme damage reflection effect instantly repelled its follow-up attack. Immortal Golden Domain. Death God Domain. I let out a long roar, and two top-tier domains erupted simultaneously. The bright gold and blood-red halos instantly enveloped the Earth Source Sand Dragon. Under the combined suppression of the two domains, all attributes of the Earth Source Sand Dragon were forcibly and dominantly reduced by a full quarter. A good opportunity. Seeing this, my father in the distance was overjoyed. His 6th, 7th, and 8th soul rings flashed wildly. The massive heavenly thunder halberd, like a divine punishment, pinned the Earth Source Sand Dragon firmly to the spot, tearing apart large sections of its rock armor. I took the opportunity with both hands to tightly grip the golden dragon spear embedded in its body. The dominant life absorption ability was fully activated. A continuous stream of 100,000 year vitality surged frantically into my body through the spear. At this rate of absorption, in less than 15 minutes, this beast would be completely drained by me. Sensing its life force draining away at a terrifying rate, the 100,000-year Earth Source Sand Dragon
knew
it had completely lost all hope of surviving its heavenly tribulation. Its giant pupils instantly turned blood red.
it actually gave up struggling.
And began to burn its remaining life force regardless of the cost. Preparing to unleash a self-destructive all-or-nothing attack. My father pulls back from the controls. Step back a little. I feel this overwhelming aura of self-preservation, enough to destroy everything. I shout loudly. Instead of retreating, I actually take bold steps toward his ferocious dragon head. My left arm slowly rises. A power like never before, an intense chill that could freeze the soul itself, starts rapidly gathering in my palm. Ice Dragon King's left arm bone's first soul skill. I directly drain half of my remaining soul power. A deadly cold flickers across the dark golden dragon eyes. Ice Dragon's breath, accompanied by a deafening dragon roar that shatters the silence. A phantom hand of the 100,000-year Ice Dragon King rises from my left arm and soars into the sky. Its massive jaws open wide, unleashing a terrifying ice breath condensed at absolute zero. A pillar of blue light. That's not ordinary frost from this world, but a death sentence from the abyss's ultimate cold. Wherever the light beam touches, the air emits a piercing shriek that makes your teeth ache. Moisture instantly crystallizes into billions of ice flakes. In just the blink of an eye, every towering tree within thousands of meters ahead, rock and soil, all get enveloped by thick, steel-like dark blue ice, utterly devoured. Into Yu Xiaolang's eyes filled with utter despair and terror, this icy dragon breath pierces straight through his entire body. Crackling sounds. This beast, hundreds of meters long, an unrivaled terror among 100,000-year-old dragons, doesn't even have time to let out a scream, and from the inside out, is completely frozen into a crystal-clear, lifelike colossal ice sculpture in the forest. No longer breathing. The Ice Dragon King's absolute zero strikes killed him instantly. Just as my father burst out in exhilarated laughter, I stepped forward, ready to absorb this incredibly rare 100,000-year red soul ring. A grand, majestic, and commanding voice suddenly exploded within my spiritual world. Asura God's trial. First trial completed. Divine King's blessing. Award, all soul rings of the host. Level up by 5,000 years. Boom! In my father's shocked gaze, the soul rings under my feet began an incredible transformation. The originally yellow first soul ring deepened in color, turning into an incredibly deep purple. And my originally purple third and fourth soul rings surpassed the ancient 1,000-year level, becoming pitch black 10,000-year soul rings. As Yu Xiaogang faded away, that blood-red 100,000-year seventh soul ring slowly settled around me, with the reinforcement of 35,000 years on all my soul rings, plus the foundation of 2 massive 10,000-year divine valleys. My resilient body reached its ultimate explosion at that moment. Level 71, level 73. My cultivation soared like a rocket, skyrocketing crazily to level 75. Soul Sage achieved. Well done, Tianjin. An 18-year-old Soul Sage at level 75. You are absolutely the most freakish prodigy of our Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan in history. Father roared toward the sky with excitement.
Tears almost bursting out.
However, just as we were drowning in euphoria, a figure full of panic came stumbling in from the forest's edge. Clan Master Tianjun. Something terrible has happened. Elder Yu Luo, who was on sentry duty, was drenched in sweat, his face pale as paper. The highest alert distress signal from the sect's message. People from the spirit hall have us surrounded. The enemy sent 3 of them, all titled De Luo. They're trying to forcibly take Miss Dong away. Counting the time, they've been in a standoff for 3 whole days now. Sword De Luo Changxing is barely holding the line, but he can't hold on much longer. Hearing these words, the arrogant smile I'd just worn after my breakthrough instantly froze on my face. A killing intent more frigid than absolute zero erupted violently from within me, shooting straight to the heavens. Qianzanji of the Spirit Hall, taking advantage of my absence, coming to my house to steal my woman. My eyes are bloodshot, the golden dragon wings on my back suddenly unfurl, and the golden dragon spear in my hand lets out an incredibly bloodthirsty hiss, screeching for death. Qianzanji of the Spirit Hall takes advantage of my absence, coming to my house to steal my woman. Hearing Elder Yuluo's urgent plea for help, the arrogant smile I'd just worn after my breakthrough instantly solidified on my face. A killing intent even colder than when I instantly slew Lium Erlong erupts from within me. A tangible killer aura explodes out from me, shooting straight up to the heavens. Courting death, my eyes turn crimson. The golden dragon wings on my back spread wide suddenly, like a golden lightning bolt ripping through the sky. And, disregarding everything, I shoot toward the direction of the blue lightning tyrant dragon clan, soaring madly upward. As I race through the sky at top speed, pushing myself to the limit, a mighty divine voice filled with infinite authority suddenly explodes within my spiritual world. Asura God's trial. Second trial activated. Eliminate the threat of the spirit hall. Let Bibi Dong appear honorably on the continent. Ultimate evolution of the killing god domain granted. Hearing this divine command, the killing intent at the corners of my mouth grows even more twisted. Qianzanji, oh Qianzanji, not only did you threaten my bottom line, but you also crashed into the barrel of my divine trial. Even if Qian Daolyu himself comes today, I'll strip him of his power too. Meanwhile, inside the main hall of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, the atmosphere is so tense it's suffocating. Spirit Hall sent out 3 whole titled Daluo, the 91st level Porcupine Fish Daluo, the 91st level Serpent Spear Daluo, and the Worship Hall's 96th level Super Daluo Qianzhong Daluo. Countless disciples of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan outside the hall drew their weapons in fury, but were forced back repeatedly by the overwhelming enemy pressure. Second Uncle Yu Luoming sat at the main seat, surrounded by crackling lightning, gritting his teeth. 3 of you barging into our sect. This request is going way too far. Porcupine Fish Daluo laughed arrogantly. Yu Luo, spare us the nonsense. Hand over the senses, and we'll leave immediately. It's not just you. Even the young clan master of Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, even if Teng Chun came back to life today, he wouldn't get a slice of our victory in Spirit Hall. Bibi Dong sits above, her jade hand clenched tightly at her sleeve, her eyes filled with defiance and rage. Qianzhong Luo, why force things to this extent? All those years of care and training before, I, Bibi Dong, am willing to repay them double. But today I will never return to that filthy cage. Your Highness the Sengsis, that's not up to you. Qianzhong Deluo lets out a cold snort, then looks over to Sword Deluo desperately keeping up appearances. Changsheng of the Dawn, if I said this was the wish of the Grand Priest Qian Daolyu, you 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Clan would really risk it all for a young Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon and declare war on our worship hall. The moment those 3 words Qian Daolyu were spoken, Changsheng's expression instantly shifted.
His own father died at the hands of Qian Daolyu back then.
Cut the crap. Let's settle this with a fight. A fierce look flashed in Changsheng's eyes. The 7-kill sword was drawn with force. He directly engaged with Qianjun Daluo. The battlefield below instantly erupted. Second uncle, at level 82, and Romy, activated their martial souls without hesitation. With the power of the blue lightning tyrant dragon, their strength was brutally fierce. They somehow managed to hold back the level 91 serpent spear Daluo. But on the other side, Bibi Dong and 3 soul saints of the sect were totally unable to stop the level 91 porcupine fish Daluo as well. Boom! 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 In just a few exchanges, all 3 soul saints were severely injured and knocked away by porcupine fish Daluo, falling to the ground and spitting blood. Your Highness the Holy Maiden, just be good and come back with me to report. Porcupine fish Daluo let out a sinister laugh, spreading his giant hand full of venomous spikes, bringing with it a sharp, foul wind, and lunged at Bibi Dong's fair neck. Despair flashed through Bibi Dong's eyes. She clenched her teeth, ready to ignite the poison inside her body, making a desperate last stand. At that tense moment, a thunderous roar like the wrath of heaven, carrying a terrifying dragon shadow that shattered the sky, exploded from the heavens above. Let me see who dares touch her. Porcupine fish Daluo's scalp tingled, as a blinding gold light burst before his eyes. A fierce figure, almost godlike in its rage, surged forth with an aura of absolute destruction, shattering the palace dome directly, and crashing down with a rumble. Dragon King Godspear Spear. No extra words needed. I didn't even slow my descent. With the supreme artifact, the golden dragon spear in my hand,
Taking me.
with the monstrous body rivaling a level 96 Super Daluo, like a bolt of golden lightning, and hurled it viciously at Porcupine Fish Daluo. What the hell is that? Porcupine Fish Daluo's face turned pale in panic, frantically gathering all of his soul power and forming the strongest porcupine fish armor in front of him. Yet against the unmatched edge of the golden dragon spear, and my berserk strength, his so-called impenetrable defense, seemed laughably fragile, like paper. Squelch. With a blood-curdling, soul-wrenching scream, the golden dragon spear pierced straight through Porcupine Fish Daluo's right chest, dragging his once almighty body, flying backward dozens of meters through the air. With a final thunderous crash, this level 91 titled Daluo was nailed like a squashed bug, impaled to the massive pillar supporting the grand hall. What terrified everyone was that, once the golden dragon spear entered the body, its domineering life-draining power instantly erupted. Porcupine Fish Daluo was horrified to find his life force and soul power draining away at a terrifying speed.
His once arrogant face
Turned ashen and lifeless in just a few breaths. He became as pale as dust. The entire place went dead silent. Even Serpent Spear Daluo, who was about to help, was scared out of his wits, breaking out in a cold sweat. Just one strike. Not only did it break a titled Daluo's defense, it killed him instantly. What kind of monster is this, for real? I slowly retracted the massive, golden dragon wings that covered the sky behind me, and strode over to Bibi Dong. I pulled her trembling form into my arms. I'm sorry, Donga. I came back late. Leave everything to me now. Looking at her slightly reddened eyes, my voice was gentle. But the moment I turned to face the people of the Martial Soul Hall, my gaze was icy like the extreme north. At that moment, Qianjun Daluo, alarmed by the chaos, couldn't bother with Chun Xing anymore, and rushed straight into the hall. He saw Porcupine Fish Daluo nailed to the pillar, his body almost sucked dry, and this level 96 Super Daluo sharply gasped. You're the young sect master of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan? Yushinjin Jinjululuo eyed me warily. That's right. I stared him down coldly, no longer hiding my power. Slaughter God Domain. Unleashing a terrifying dragon might mixed with the immortal Golden Domain, I released it all at once. Meanwhile, with a deep echoing hum, 2 purple, 4 black, 1 red, 7 incredibly exaggerated, practically monstrous soul rings slowly rose under my feet. Especially that last ring, glowing with a blinding, blood-red light the 100,000-year soul ring, releasing the vicious aura of a 100,000-year beast, cracking the hall floor with web-like fissures. Qianjun Doluo stared at my soul ring configuration, his eyes almost bulging out. His heart pounded out of control. 2 purple, 4 black, 1 red. The 7th soul ring is a 100,000-year grade? What kind of freakish setup is this? No human could possibly achieve that. Behind Qianjun Doluo stood Sword Doluo Changxing, who stared at the glaring 100,000-year soul ring at my feet, completely stunned and speechless for a long while. But then, in his eyes, flashed a wild joy. I bet right. This time the 7 treasures glazed sect chose the right person. An 18-year-old 7-ring soul master, with a 100,000-year 7th soul ring. What does the martial soul hole amount to compared to this? Qianjun Doluo was now completely flustered. He knew all too well what this soul ring ratio meant. This is definitely a fabled, God-blessed inheritor with a divine seat. Such a supreme prodigy. Never mind just one Qianjun Doluo. Even if the whole Grand Enshrinement Hall joined in, they would have to think twice about the consequences. Without any hesitation, he pulled out a golden flare from his chest and fired it immediately. He had to let Grand Priest Qian Daolu decide in person. Soon, accompanied by a divine and radiant golden light in the sky, an old man appeared, with 6 giant angel wings spreading out from his back, carrying the oppressive might of a level 99 ultimate Doluo that crashed down with a boom, descending outside the main hall of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. This was none other than the Sky Invincible, Qian Daolu. Qianjun Doluo and the others knelt as though seeing a savior. They hurriedly kowtowed. My father Yu Yuanzhen, who had just made it back to the sect, also had a grave expression. He unleashed his level 95 thunder power and stood in front of me. Qian Daolu looked down on me from above. When he saw at my feet the 100,000-year, blood-red soul ring, this ultimate Doluo who had lived for over a century, his pupil contracted sharply. An extraordinarily monstrous kid? No wonder I, the elder, had to come personally. He was secretly shocked inside. Such natural talent. If only I could draw him to the Martial Soul Hall. He would be an incredible asset to my granddaughter Qian Rengsu someday. If not, a ruthless glint crossed Qian Daolu's eyes.
He looked at Bibi Dong, who was still in my arms,
and spoke in a commanding tone. Bibi Dong, are you really not going back to Spirit Hall with me? Not going back. Bibi Dong clings to my hand tightly. She stares straight at the ultimate Doluo without any fear. I've long been in love with Tianjun. This life, I am a member of the Yu family. Even if I die, I'll only be more unruly. Qian Daolu let out a cold snort. The pressure of level 99 ultimate power felt like the sky was collapsing, smashed down on us. But what Qian Daolu doesn't know is, right at this moment, in the distant divine realm, an extremely ridiculous yet domineering family drama is unfolding. You damn bird! What a powerful aura! You dare threaten my inheritor from the lower realm? The Shura God King, shrouded in blood-red killing intent, is holding a super artifact capable of cutting star rivers, the Shura Demon Blade, pinning the arrogant angel god forcefully against a divine pillar. Brother Shura, Lord Shura, let's talk it out. Don't use your blade. The angel god trembled, wings quivering in fear. His face was green and full of blood. Pass on your divine power to that god servant now. The Shura God King kicked the angel god in the butt. The sword's edge pressed against his neck, with cold, mocking sneers. If you dare move the Golden Dragon King's bloodline I'd painstakingly found, do you believe? I'll tear down your angel god temple tomorrow. Daluo Continent. Blue Lightning Tyrant. Outside the Dragon Clan's main hall, Qian Daolu was about to take action by force, to forcibly take Bibi Dong and me away. Suddenly, in his sea of spirit, a rapid message came from the angel god, carrying a hint of fear and supreme divine power. Never provoke Yu Tianjun again. Immediately revoke your status as angel god servant, and come back now. After hearing this divine decree, Qian Daoliu's once lofty, arrogant and imposing figure prepping to strike, froze instantly in midair. He stared at me in disbelief. From the depths of his eyes, a wave of extreme terror poured out. The angel god actually told me not to provoke him. How terrifying is the artifact behind this kid? Everyone in the main hall was tense to the extreme. Sword Daoluo and my father were even already bracing themselves for a fight to the death. Yet under the bewildered gazes from all, Qian Daoliu's authoritative old face, after a dazzling alternation of red and white, actually retracted his world-destroying level 99 pressure. He gave me a deep look, then glanced at Li Pudong, and let out a deeply helpless and desolate bitter smile. Forget it, since you've made up your mind, then you can stay here for now. As for your master Qian Zanji, you'll have to handle that yourself. Let's go. After finishing his words, Qian Daoliu didn't even glance at the one nailed to the pillar. Half dead, the porcupine Daluo turned around and became a beam of golden light, taking Qian Jun and Snake Lance Daluo, like a defeated dog, escaping the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan in utter embarrassment. The hall was dead silent. The formerly unrivaled Spirit Hall, Grand Priest, one of the three great, ultimate Daluos, Qian Daoliu, actually lowered his head and retreated in front of Yu Tianjun.